Going live, 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I am so off. I need to get better at the introductions. But welcome everyone. This is On Just Restart. I am joined by Mandy Lee Plays, and we're gonna talk about, I guess, maybe E3 leaks. We're gonna talk about Mario Maker 2. We're gonna talk about Discord wanting to be on the Nintendo Switch and helping to solve the voice chat problem. But you know, Nintendo
it needs to be on the Switch, not wanting.
Yeah, I agree. But does Nintendo agree? That's the question. No, exactly. So that topic might be very short, but we could at least talk about what it could offer, what they could do. And then we'll talk about how Nintendo, it's not confirmed, but it's coming from some insiders that they, along with Sony, which is confirmed, are going to be working with Microsoft with their streaming platform to help them out with their personal streaming platforms in the future. Now, we'll try to get into the nuances of that later on to the discussion, but that's basically what we're going to be talking about today. But before we jump into that, if you have anything you want to talk about, Mandy, is there anything interesting that you want to get into before we jump into the swing of things?
No, I'm good.
How have you been? It's been a while since you've been on the cast.
Oh, I've been good. Yeah, it's been a while. Hi, guys. Nice to see you. Okay, take it away.
Cool. Well, guys, if you haven't seen Mandy before, she has a great YouTube channel herself. She streams, she talks about video games and news and stuff. You will love her. So please check her out. The link to her channel is in the description below. And we were talking about it earlier. You're starting your own podcast. I think I saw you said that you're going to start doing it on Sundays at 8 p.m., right?
I chose Sundays because it's like that's a day that nobody really has. So
yeah,
a lot of people must have it, but like nobody I know. So I was like, Sunday's cool.
No, I used to do the discussions on Sundays, but I eventually moved it to Mondays. And I mean, Sunday's a great day. So it's Sunday, the day of rest. So
it might be a little like slow because it's a weekend. Usually weekends are slow, like with uploads.
Well, people are also off. I'll also make the argument that some of my most successful videos have come out on the weekend. Ooh. So it's hard to say.
Mine is the opposite. Like my most successful usually comes out on Monday, Tuesday.
Really? Maybe I should start uploading then, because I never upload on Monday or Tuesday. I'm like, oh no, this is beginning of the week. Oh wait.
Because that's like the first day of the week.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I've been pretty slow lately. I feel bad. But life is killing me. But Game of Thrones is over, so I'll have more time to focus. Because the depression from finishing Game of Thrones, I will focus on my craft, which is this channel. And we have this marathon to E3, and it's going to be exciting and amazing and cool. So get ready for the ride, guys, because it's been the calm before the storm. We're going to have some interesting stuff to talk about, and it's gonna get good. But let's see how the chat is going. If they're dead, alive, kicking, doing well. I think they're doing well. How are you guys doing? Let me see who's there. Brandon the Stallion. Yes, you were the first one here. Mastermind, you just woke up from a nap? Are you ready to go? Oh, I see.
Everybody seems to be rolling in.
It's rolling. Vilbeard, what's up, bro? In case it's not obvious, it is 9 p.m.-ish for me. Manny, you live in Florida, right? So for you, it's also 9 p.m.
Yeah. 9:08.
9:08.
Yeah, so.
Hey, Sabbath. Robeer. Oh, man. It's Robeer saying it's 3 a.m. where he's at. Oh, my God. So you live in Europe?
Oh, my God.
That's Europe, right? 6 hours? Like, I think it is. Maybe?
I think on the other side of the world.
Indeed. It's a long flight. Brand Stalin, where are you saying? You're saying, you are a pirate, yay, we've got us a map to lead us to a hidden box that's all locked up with locks and buried deep away. We'll dig up the box. We know it's full of precious booty. Burst open the locks. I don't know what this is from, but I like it. Focus on me. What is up, bro?
Hi, Focus on me.
Adam Von Cannon. Hey, yeah, E3 is on the way. Okay.
Yeah, Europe.
I was right about Robeer being in Europe, which is a large place with many countries, so
that's
I'm glad
why I wonder, like, do YouTubers in Europe kind of account Americans, or is it like, because they usually like sleep when we like get up and get up when we sleep, so it's like.
That's an interesting point. One time, who was it? I wanted to invite blocked content onto the cast, but they're like live in a completely different time zone. I didn't even message. I was gonna try and hit them up, see if I can like get into contact with them, but I mean they live really far away. Like by the time I'm up, they're sleeping, so I didn't even bother. But I really don't know, because like, you know, I try to stick to. I mean, so sometimes I upload a video when it's ready, right? But sometimes, you know, if I'm actually like ready ahead of time, I will upload it like scheduled, right? And I'll try to hit like the noon to 3 p.m. Eastern time sort of window, because I've done the research and it's usually the better time, but it's only the better time around here, right?
Yeah.
Elsewhere in the world, it's not, and this is a global thing where everyone sort of watches this. I get like people from India and South America and Australia, you know, places that, you know, that all over the world, really. Like, and I'm surprised sometimes.
Yeah, it's nice when like they stay up just to catch a live stream, and it's like freaking late at night where they. I'm like, oh, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Like, good man. But you know, it's cool.
Absolutely. So, guys, I'm gonna reiterate. Mandy, I don't know when, but I would love to be on your podcast as well. So.
Well, I'm on your podcast, so it's like.
Yeah, it works out. Heck, I'll if you're still looking for guests, I'll come on this Sunday if you want. But make sure to check her out, guys. Link to her channel is in the description below. So, let's kind of get started with the topics, though. So, when I put like E3 release question mark for a couple of reasons. One, because there isn't like a hard like E3 leak like there was like last year, where like we knew about Fortnite and Dragon Ball FighterZ being at E3, and like we knew like there was no, it should have been a surprise, but we knew about those things already. This year that hasn't happened yet, right? A lot of people feel like it should have already happened.
Yeah,
I'm hesitant.
I'm waiting to make like my E3 videos, but nothing seems to be going, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say my predictions. But I feel like once I say them, then they're going to, like, a leak is going to leak like it usually does.
Yeah. So I actually am feeling pretty good about my predictions right now. So I've done like several predictions videos, but I did my final predictions like a weekish ago, right? And in there I talked about a couple of different things. One of the things I talked about was a Monster Hunter game being announced for Nintendo Switch, like a legitimate ground-up Monster Hunter game for Nintendo Switch. And that's not confirmed yet, but some of the recent rumors coming from Vergaben and Sabi are suggesting that maybe Monster Hunter is coming. So let's just get into...
I wouldn't be surprised. Don't they come out with a game every year?
Yeah, they do. So it's
or
not
like
really that...
remake or an enhanced something.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like they've already done that enhancement like a few times already, so I think they're probably in that period where they should come out with like an actual new one. So, because, you know, they do the X and the double XX cross, then the X Ultra Gen Ultimate cross. I think we're now ready for the just new Monster Hunter for the Switch.
They should make like a downgraded Monster Hunter World kind of
That would
thing.
be an option. I get the feeling they're going to do something a little different. I would be okay with that, but I feel like they're going to just do something ground up, which I think a lot of people appreciate.
Make the Monster Hunter World run on the Switch?
I think they could.
And
Everything runs on Switch just terribly. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's sad.
It's sad, but it's also great because I think like any game could run on Switch. I think that's where we are at in terms of technology. Like even the Switch, even though it's way weaker than other systems, because of the architecture, because of how powerful it already is, it can run pretty much everything. It's just it's gonna come at some severe costs, right? Like frame rate and resolution.
Like down the line, it could get more enhancements.
For sure. Like
that's an easy fix. Might be expensive, but easy.
Well, you wouldn't be able to use it with your base Switch, right? Unless you had like a special dock enhancement to make games look better, which I've been a proponent for at this point years. But you know, it is what it is. But let me kind of read off some of the things that Sabi said here that are suggested. He didn't talk about it until Vergman brought it up because he didn't think it was as reliable. So, you know, of course, take this all with a grain of salt, guys. But I'm just going to kind of read this off. And not all of this is confirmed for E3. Not all of this is necessarily for the Switch. These are just things that are sort of coming out from the woodworks, right? So, SMT news in March or April. Did that happen? I'm not sure. Maybe. SMT5, I mean. Virtual Fighter 6 apparently is happening. Beautiful Joe 3 in 2020 or 21. That would be really cool. We haven't seen Beautiful Joe in years, since the GameCube PS2 era.
I don't even know him. That's how long it's been.
That's how long it's been. Absolutely. Yeah, you were probably you're a couple years younger than me, so I was really young then as well. Like the GameCube was, I was a kid. I was a little kid.
The GameCube was my first console.
Yeah. Yeah, so Beautiful Joe happened on GameCube and PS2. Beautiful Joe 1 and 2. I only played them like briefly. I never like owned it and completed it, but I remember it being like a popular, or like a really popular game that it had like a strong following. So
I never heard of it. Like not even in talking. Like,
so I like I said, I don't know that much about the game, so I hope I don't butcher like an explanation of it, but from what I remember, you play as the dude who can transform into a hero, and it's kind of like you're filming a movie, but it's an action platformer. That's what I sort of vaguely remember for it. It was a really cool thing. It was made by Capcom, one of their better franchises from what I remember. So it would be cool to see, especially because now we're adults and we probably will know about it and play it. I think they should start by bringing back Beautiful Joe 1 and 2 for Switch. That would be a really good idea, I think. Bring both of them in like some sort of HD collection. Nothing like serious, just kind of like upscaled HD, right? I'm not asking for a remake or anything like that, just so they can run on Switch and look solid. I think a lot of people will be into that.
Capcom is on a roll, so...
You mean Crapcom? I mean, yeah. Some people are complaining about the Resident Evil 4 port. One doesn't have any gyro controls. For the record, guys, Resident Evil 4 is my favorite games ever. Like top 5, easy. I usually replay the game like every once or 2 years, and I'm probably gonna replay it soon with all the talk of it now. But it's basically like a port of the PS4 version. Apparently, the PS4 version has some weird glitches. The way the textures look, they don't seem to do the game justice. They are technically better in terms of HD, but it kind of loses some of its initial grittiness, right? And it is a horror game, so it's kind of losing some of that, and it has no motion controls either. So it seems
I feel like people like Resident Evil 4, and that has the most awful controls I've ever seen.
You don't like the controls in RE 4?
Yeah, it's like you're on a rail.
Which game did you? Which version did you play?
All the versions have it, but I played it for the PlayStation 4.
Okay, well that's the version that people don't like. There's a few versions that people don't like. Actually, there's a lot, but I think the ultimate version, the consensus seems to be the Wii version, which you can also get on Wii U. It is really good because it has the motion controls, and like the pointer controls really speed things up and they make it feel a lot smoother.
And that makes sense.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, you're meant to be kind of locked down a little bit because it's meant to stop and shoot. That was kind of like the Resident Evil formula, because it's a horror game, right? So it adds to the tension. It slows you down. It makes you a little weaker in that way. But with Resident,
I was just more frustrated at the controls and the actual things going around me. Turn around.
It can make. Well, you can do the back 180. It's one of the random thing that you press back B, or at least it was how it was on GameCube and Wii. Like you just, well, maybe on Wii the controls are a little different, but there's a back something. You turn around real quick to do a 180 to see what's behind you, which you have to do a lot because there's always some like Deco, like they say stuff like that, which kind of like, oh, I got you. There was one
because you can only move forward or the direction you're facing. You can't go like left and right, so
you have to like rotate kind of slowly. Yeah, it's a different kind of control setup for sure.
I don't recommend.
I do recommend Resident Evil 4, but from what we're hearing from the Switch version, it's just a basic or straight rip of the PS4 version, which is a bad port. If it had the motion controls, it would be a lot better.
I would think it would have, since the Joy-Cons.
And apparently, the PC version, you actually can have two. Well, you can have two different graphical options. There's the new textures, which is what they have now for the PS4 version, but those seem to take away from the game a little bit in some people's opinions. But there's another option on PC where you can use the original GameCube textures just upscaled in HD, and it still has that grittiness, but it still looks clear and crisp, which I think would be the best of both worlds. So hopefully they would update the Switch version to have that PC graphical option and motion controls that like you had on the Wii. The Joy-Cons could totally do it. The Pro Controller can totally do it. It just, it's just the whole gyroscope thing. Like, it's very easy for them to do that, I think. It's unfortunate.
You just need to. Well, that game, I feel like the camera's like constricting you, and it's hard to walk around, look around because you're just like, I want to get out of here. Well, to me, that anyway. Some people love it. It's one of the masterpieces.
It's a masterpiece.
But I'm like, I can't get off the first level. I can't. Sorry, Leo.
I want to get you to get through the first level.
I could stream it, but
yeah,
that's the only way like people could keep me on track with it. But
I just got a random idea. I don't know if we should do it. You may not even want to do it, but I had the idea. What if we? I don't. Is dual streaming even? No, it's only optional on Twitch. But like, what if we like dual streamed and I watched you play and I coached you through it? Like, it's like, no, do this, no, do that, and I would
backseat gaming.
Not backseat driving, more like some suggestions as you go.
I mean, you could be in the stream as I stream.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll make it a requirement that you be there.
I'll be there. Okay, that's a good compromise. All right, but we're talking about Resident Evil. We're talking about Capcom really here. A lot of this is from All of this is from Capcom. So a few other things that are coming up here is Devil May Cry 4 apparently coming to Switch, right? DMC4. That'd be interesting. Resident Evil 3 Remake apparently is happening. Resident Evil 8 apparently is happening. New Monster Hunter game coming to Switch. I kind of believe that. It makes sense. We talked about it earlier. The timing seems about right. There's a few different things. Apparently Master Chief Collection is also maybe coming to Switch as well.
It's so weird. Like, it's a weird time being a gamer right now.
I know.
Good. It's great. It's awesome. But it's just, like, weird.
Yeah.
Like, we had all these games that were locked into different things now coming together. Kumbaya. It's like,
Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, they're working together. It's so weird. It is so weird. We're gonna get more into it later, but apparently the PlayStation team didn't even know about the Sony-Microsoft partnership, which is kind of interesting because...
I get it.
Yeah, it's more like the technologies aspect of Sony and Microsoft that are working together rather than like the gaming divisions. Because
Sony makes some good products like cameras, TVs. But they're expensive though.
Yeah.
But they make really high quality stuff.
Yeah. They're a tech company. Microsoft's a better tech company, so that's why they're getting.
It's just weird because the PlayStation camera is so bad, and Sony makes cameras. You couldn't like call somebody in that department because it's so bad. The PlayStation camera. It's like it has like it's very grainy, so you can barely see yourself. I mean, that's good if you just don't wanna dress up or anything. But damn.
Yeah.
I stopped using it for a while.
Yeah.
Because I have a webcam, so.
When I think about all of my technology products, minus my PlayStation, I'm just kind of looking across like my wall. So I got an HP monitor, a PowerPC keyboard, computer, another Element monitor, a Blue microphone, a UV size light, a Logitech camera, Targus tripod. PS4 is the only thing that's Sony apparently. Elgato, Switch, Nintendo, Wii U, Nintendo, a whole bunch of Nintendo products. A Life's Good television. There's no Sony minus the PlayStation. I'm anti-Sony.
Okay. I have a Sony camera, and that's about it. Oh, and the PlayStation.
But but you feel like their cameras are usually pretty good then?
Yeah, that's my choice here. It's a A6000.
Okay. And is that how you record your videos?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has the little mic because it doesn't have an aux cord for the the Blue Yeti. So
that's
the only
interesting.
downside.
So I've only been using a face cam to record my videos whenever I use my face, which is not that often anymore. But it happens.
You have a good webcam. Which one do you
have? It's actually a few years old. So this is a weird plug, but it's not weird. It's what I'm supposed to do. But if you check out my Amazon storefront, which is linked in the description below, I show my Amazon list of the tech I'm using, which includes my camera, which is 3 years old at this point. So it's probably fairly cheap. There are better versions of it out there. But I'm using a Logitech 1080 HD 1080p. Actually, let me double check the.
That's the one I have.
Yeah, I mean
But good plug in there.
Yeah, right.
Glad as well.
Points for that. But yeah, guys, when you do check out my Amazon storefront, anything that you buy there that you think is interesting, it does help me out. I'm
affiliate linked, or is it?
Yeah,
like...
it's an affiliate. It's an affiliate linking. Yeah. What I'm really hoping for, though, I mean, Amazon's like not like it's cool, but it's not like something that I think is gonna get like a lot of clicks, right? It's cool, still cool though. But like something that I'm really hoping for. I recently applied to get an Audible affiliate linking, right? So I'm working on a history of Mario video, and I read a Mario book, right? But on Audible, like I listened to it. So like, I'm hoping that I get this Audible partnership so I can like send people to get free Audible like memberships. That'll help me out a lot, and they can literally listen to the same Mario book that I listened to make the video. So hopefully that happens.
Audiobooks all the time.
I love it.
Because my second favorite hobby is reading, but sometimes I don't really have time to like sit and read, so I just have it in the background.
Same. So, I mean, in truth, I haven't like read a normal book, like sit down and read it in a few years. Like I used to love doing that. Like, I read through Harry Potter and Inheritance and a whole bunch of books like that. Like I loved like reading a lot of big fantasy sci-fi novels. That was my thing. Right, like it was kind of like playing a game or watching an anime. Like if it's like I just get completely immersed into the world, right? It's like I'm living in it, and I love that. I love doing that, but I haven't like sat down and read a book like that in years. However, when it comes to audiobooks, I haven't done it for any sci-fi stuff. I tried listening to Moby Dick. I got a few hours in, but not that far.
Why would you?
Because it's Old English and
that's
it's a classic.
That's reading. Like, nah, you don't do that.
Yeah. No.
Unless you're retired, don't do that.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel. So, when you listen to audiobooks, do you listen? Because what I do with audiobooks are usually more educational, like the Mario history book, right? Like things like that. Like I learned about Albert Einstein's life, things of that nature. I've been listening to with audiobooks. I haven't done like the whole, like listening to the Harry Potter series on audiobook. What kind of books do you usually listen to?
Read nonfiction, so like educational books, self-help, and I still read my fiction books, but
you won't listen to it though, would you?
It doesn't feel the same with that genre.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Self-help and stuff, like the voice actor and actress could do a lot to make it.
Yeah, I listened to this book called, I believe it was called Modern Romance. By Aziz Ansari. He's a comedian, right? He's a great comedian. It was great listening to him. It was his book. Like he wrote it. Like he worked with other people and he did like a whole like social like experiment learning about the different kind of romances across the world in this modern time, comparing it to the past, which was really interesting. But it was more interesting that he also did the audiobook, right? He narrated the audiobook, and he's a comedian, so it was really interesting listening to that. There was this other book that I didn't finish. But it was pretty popular by Neil deGrasse Tyson, like Astrophysics in a Hurry, something along those lines. And he also he wrote the book, but he also narrates it on Audible. And Neil deGrasse Tyson has one of the best voices ever.
Yeah, so I mean he has to narrate his own books.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the rule.
So that'd be really cool. It would be. How cool would it be if there was like a new like Nintendo history book and Reggie narrated it? Like how epic would that be? Or Bill.
I don't know really who Bill is, but
Bill Trinen. He's the guy with the glasses.
Most of them have glasses.
So there's this one scene where Reggie's like, Bill, and he's just eating a whole bunch of donuts.
Oh, so what is he, like an assistant or?
He's I forget his official position, but he's usually like their head like localizer, I think. Like he does a lot of the translations, especially like during E3 shows and stuff. He'll definitely be at E3. You'll see him there.
Oh, he's a translator.
Yeah, he translates. Okay. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's something he's pretty good at. He's a cool dude. Just check him out.
Oh, I don't know if you have read this book, but I think it's called The Psychology of Zelda. It's really good.
What? Can I listen to it on Audible?
Oh, that I don't know. I have the.
Oh man, what if? Yeah, that'd be interesting. But I'll just read that. Like that sounds epic. No.
Yeah, it's really good.
That sounds so cool. Oh, you gotta show me later. Oh,
Alright.
now I'm like really excited. Yeah. So let's get back on topic though. Yeah. So you played Monster Hunter World, but did you play any other Monster Hunter games beforehand or?
I played a bunch of the Switch one, Ultimate Generations, like almost 200 hours.
Okay, so you definitely liked it. So you'd be hyped for a new Monster Hunter for Switch then.
Yeah, it's really hard to move from one Monster Hunter game to another one because like you have to start over.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I won't mind it at all.
I play a lot of the 3DS ones. My first Monster Hunter was actually Monster Hunter Tri on the Nintendo Wii, and that was a Monster Hunter that was made ground up for the Wii. It was exclusive for the Wii, and it was epic.
Motion controls?
I don't remember it having motion. It probably did have motion controls, but I don't. That wasn't like a huge issue in terms of playing it. It didn't get in the way. It wasn't cumbersome. I don't. They may have been an option. I honestly don't remember. I just remember playing it, which is kind of a good thing to me because like it didn't take whatever they did. I don't remember if it was good or bad, but I was immersed with Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii, and I eventually got the upgraded 3DS version. That was epic because I think it was like Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate or something. I put like a few hundred hours into that one, and then I got I'm forgetting which one I had on 3DS, one of the newer ones, but I think it was Monster Hunter something Generations. That was also a couple years ago at this point. I never got around to getting Monster Hunter World, which I should have. I could still get it. Probably could get it at a good price now, actually.
Get it. I mean, do you have a good PC?
I have a pretty good PC. It's solid. I also have a PS4, so I mean, I have options in terms of how I could play it.
Then why haven't you played it?
Because I'm a sinner. I just haven't gotten around to it. There's so many games. I still haven't finished Dark Souls Remastered.
Oh, I don't play Dark Souls.
Yeah, I love Dark Souls. I love Dark Souls. I first played Bloodborne, got really into that, beat that, and now I have Dark Souls Remastered. I love that. I just never finished it because Let's Go came out and Smash came out, and I don't even know what I'm doing now. I'm just doing a whole bunch of stuff. But
are you really good at Smash?
Am I good at Smash? Shifty will kick my butt.
So no, okay.
Well, it's all about perspective. Like, whenever I go to a party, I'm usually number one, but when I'm at a party, everyone's just casual, right? So, I would say I'm above average, but I'm not like competitive.
People think I'm actually good. That's like the sad part. Like they would think I'm really good. I'm like, you guys know I'm trash.
Just don't go online and you'll believe you're good. Yeah, no, I'm literally right there with you. Like, my friends think I'm good. I know I'm bad. But it's all relative, right? Like, if you're better than 80% of people, that's good, right? But the people who who really play it all the time, who are playing online constantly, who are playing in tournaments, who are streaming it, are better than you.
Like, I stream it, but I'm still trash.
Yeah. But it's better to play it just for fun, right? It's not everyone has to be an expert.
Sometimes I want to beat that person online. Just once. I'm not that bad. Okay, I'm not complete trash, but I'm still trash.
You're not at 0 on your global Smash meter. You're a little higher, like maybe like 3.
My online global Smash?
Yeah, your global Smash power.
That's like, for Lucina, is like 83,000.
I don't even know what mine is. I haven't checked. I don't. I'm good with Piranha Plant. I know I'm pretty good with Piranha Plant. I'm pretty good with Link. That's it. I suck. Well, I'm decent with Samus and Dark Samus. They're the same character. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so we'll all show up to Shifty's Friday night fight club.
We should both go. Yeah, for sure.
And then get our butts beaten.
Absolutely. We can both lose. But let's see how everyone else is doing in the chat, and we'll probably move on to some of the other topics. Let me see here. I am Shifty's in the chat, actually. We've been talking about you, buddy. He's saying, I'm not really into gyroscope aiming either, to be honest, but I mean, hey, maybe have a modern control setting. I think that they could. It's so easy for them to add modern motion controls to Resident Evil 4. I kind of expect an update sooner or later, to be honest with you. It's not going to shock me. Maybe a month from now we'll see an update for it. Hopefully with those other textures as well from the PC version.
Do you update your chat? Because you're really early. or
Oh.
late or
I just haven't
lag.
scrolled down, man.
Oh.
I like trying to get to people, going through them, but because I don't like missing people, but sometimes it's not an option.
Yeah.
The podcast dojo, what's up, man? I'm doing pretty good. But yeah, I'm sorry for the confusion. I was just like really late into the chat. Whoa, whoa! Shifty works for Amazon. He's gonna give us a hookup.
JK.
Super Chris, what's up, man? Yeah, Vilbeard, I'm also shocked about the psychology of Zelda. We need to learn more about this.
It's nonfiction, so it's not like a story like about in Zelda world.
It's
more
even
like,
more interesting because that's like what psychology, what does that mean exactly? Like, oh my god, like I'm really interested what this is about.
I'm surprised nobody has heard it. It's made by a lot of people from the Zelda. I forgot the name. They're like this huge Zelda fan YouTuber.
Celtic?
Oh, no, Zelda Universe or something.
Oh, Zelda
I think
Universe.
that's a group of people though.
Yeah. No, there's a few like collaborative Zelda channels.
And like a psychologist for like, they can't just say whatever they want. So
So like,
it's on Amazon.
there you go. Check it out, guys, on Amazon. Maybe I'll put it on my Amazon store. You guys can check.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people are like don't know it exists and they're like, oh, I want to buy it.
Yeah, no, it seems really interesting. Let me see. I am Shifty. Play me and find out. I guess. All right, Shifty has heard. Then now we have to fight each other and smash. We're gonna find out. Spoiler: I'm gonna lose, but I will try. Maybe he'll slip. If only this was Brawl, you could trip and then I'll win. Like, look, computer robots is saying I'm going crazy, insane. It is true. I'm always going crazy. I can't stop. Podcast Dojo says you want to join. You talking about the Smash fight, or you saying you want to jump into the discussion?
Let's go.
Yeah, if you want to jump in, man, by all means. But I'm not sure which one you're referring to. Just message me on Twitter if you mean you want to jump into the podcast. So, let's move on to the next topic, though. All right, Mario Maker 2 got a direct suddenly last week.
Oh my. It was a lot of. It felt like a tutorial, but it was cool. Nothing really mind blowing, but
It's Mario Maker.
yeah, I thought they were gonna maybe make like a custom something, but what I didn't understand was like the past stuff. I don't like them at all.
Yeah, I saw your Twitter post about it. Like, I kind of like it because I can save $20. Basically, from what I understand, there are select games. Most of them seem to be just like the bigger Nintendo published games. That's at least based off what they showed in Mario Maker. I haven't even looked it up on the eShop, so I could be wrong. But it seems like you can get games like Kirby and Mario Party and Zelda and Mario Odyssey you can get two of them for the price of $100, but all those games are still at $60, right? So you can use that to save $20. That's really it. But you can only get it digitally. So I mean, yeah, there's like disadvantages to it, but if you're gonna get them digitally,
like that one throws me. You have to spend the $99, so it has the illusion of just spending money. But yeah, you could get two $60 games, but
you have to spend $100.
Yeah,
it's an investment. Well, I mean, it's kind of like if there's two games you want and they're $60.
It's more strategic. It's not really like
it's not a great sale. It's not a great sale. I think there's some Amazon or Best Buy deals that are probably better.
Yeah,
or close
I mean,
in terms of pricing.
Rarely puts their stuff on sale, and when they do, it sucks. But
there's not much. What I do appreciate is a gold point system. I actually do use that. Like when I buy games, I get gold points, and I've used that to buy smaller games a lot. Like I got Final Fantasy VII on the Switch for free, basically, because I had a buildup of gold points, and before that, I downloaded Turok for free because of my gold points.
I buy physical games, so
you can still register those and get gold points, though. I'm pretty sure.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you can. You can register. You can register all of your any game that's in your Switch. You can register it and get gold points. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think there's if you go, I have to double check where there's like a, if you go to the on your Switch menu. Oh, I'll see. I doubt I'll be able to do it right now, but come on. Where is it? I think if you go to, so listen, if I go to a cartridge game, if you go to, when you go over, you probably can't see. Oh, actually, you kind of can see it. So if you go to options, right? I think if you go to options, there might be like a, if you maybe, so I think it might be here. Yeah. So if you go down to My Nintendo Rewards Program, there probably will be an option to register it to get the gold points. Yeah. So just go over your game, go to options, and you should find that there. You might get a whole bunch of gold points if you have a bunch of Switch games you haven't registered.
Yeah, I did not know that. Oh my god, thank you.
No problem. You're gonna have a lot of games to play. Maybe you'll download Resident Evil 4. I don't think you should download that one. I think you probably should invest it elsewhere. But I mean, just going back to Mario Maker 2 though, like I was pretty excited about the whole moon thing. Like it looks like they're kind of changing. It seems to offer a lot of variety, which is really exciting to me. I also loved Red Yoshi. I love Red Yoshi. He's red, he's Yoshi, makes him perfect. And I was really excited to see they're adding a story mode, which to me is really important because even though I feel like I'm a fairly creative person, when it comes to like games where you build a lot or customize, like I don't really get too into that aspect of it. Right, for me, Mario Maker is more exciting because I get to play all of these crazy platforming levels from other people. That's what interests me about it. So I just want the challenge of a platformer. So having its own built-in story mode, that's interesting to me. I love that. Will I make a few stages in Mario Maker? Of course, but that's not going to be where I'm going to put most of my time into the game. So I'm really happy they're focusing on both aspects of both the customization and building, but also just the playing and platforming, which is what I mostly care about.
Okay, same here. Like, I'm not really creative with the whole. I've seen people that go crazy. I'm like, holy moly.
Some impressive stuff. You've seen all the Smash stages.
Oh my gosh.
Some of them are crazy in different ways.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Like, where do you guys find the time?
The ingenuity that I've seen. Like, I was like, oh, so that's how you. Okay, wow. The movement feature of the stages, the background layers, is what really gets me with the Smash editor. It's, oh my god, we don't have to get into it. I'm just surprised at what people can come up with. But I remember Mario Maker, there are some insane levels that just seemed impossible, and they were infuriating. Like I would spend hours just beating one level, and I beat some of them. There were some I had to like just give up on, but there were some really, really hard ones, and it pushes your platforming to the extreme. So I'm really excited for Mario Maker 2. Honestly, I think it looks solid. Like, it's Mario Maker, and that makes me happy. It has additions, it seems to be perfected, and apparently even has online multiplayer. That could be really interesting, too. Oh, I didn't... Yeah.
It was pretty good from what I saw.
Yeah.
Better than Mario Party kind of multiplayer.
Maybe. It's kind of like, they kind of done it before. They had a New Super Mario Bros. U, right, which had the multiplayer, and I think even the Wii version had multiplayer, and then, of course, 3D World had multiplayer, but it's 3D-ish, so, we've seen multiplayer Mario games, but to have it in Mario Maker, that's really interesting, especially because of all the customization options. There's so many different things they could have with Mario Maker. I'm really interested to see how it's going to all pan out, especially now, because the way how... like sharing games now as opposed to when Mario Maker came out in 2014, it's a little bit different now because Nintendo's better in terms of sharing features and stuff. Like, with the Switch, you can literally tweet out your images, right? You can't do that. You weren't able to do that with the Wii U. So it's going to be interesting to see what people are coming up with, because I feel like it's going to be a lot better to sort of just see what people are doing with it. I'm excited to just see what's going to happen. I think it's going to be insane.
Yeah, I mean, people have more imagination than I. Some of the levels I watch Dashie a lot.
Yeah, he's great.
They're like crazy. I'm like, oh my god.
I know. They're insane. They're insane. There was this Meat Boy one. I managed to beat that. Some of my first videos on this channel were like Let's Plays of Mario Maker. They were so hard to make because, like I said, I had to spend like 4 or 5 hours just to beat one level, and that's 4 or 5 hours of footage to edit together into a shorter 10 to 15 minutes that people will actually want to watch. and that's just hell. It's just hell. It's like it takes like 16 hours of work to make a 15-minute video that at the time like 2 people would watch. So I stopped because it was very painful. It was just painful to play the game, but I mean that part I was okay with because I like playing the game. So but let's see what you guys in the chat think of the direct. How did you guys feel about it? Let's see what's going on here. Sadly, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the biggest Mario Maker fan, so the direct really didn't do it for me. I mean, it's not the same kind of direct. It's a direct to learn about that particular game, and if you're really into that game. Oh, cool. Podcast Dojo is going to join us, actually. So, let me where are we? I sent you a link, buddy. But let me get back to what I was saying. Quickly sidetracked. Like I said, I mean, the direct's not for everyone. I wasn't like, when I watched the direct, I wasn't like, oh my god, I can't wait for all the hype news. Like, it's about Mario Maker. I know what Mario Maker is. I'm just learning about the game, and that's interesting to me because I'm into the game. Like, if it was like a Zelda direct, I would be screaming, right? Because it's Zelda.
Yeah, that would be something else.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Smash directs are pretty hype as well, or at least they used to be. Yeah, it depends on the game. But again, it also depends on how into the game you actually are. And I'm in a Mario Maker, but it's not like I'm gonna buy it, I want it, but it's not on the level of Zelda or Smash or Metroid, things like that, Ray, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm a little sick, so I apologize if I sound like crap.
It makes it sound more manly. You're good.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, hey, how you guys been? How you doing, Mandy?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, as I said, I'm pretty sick, so but I'm here. Hey man, I'm sorry about that. I just heard you guys having fun, and I just had nothing to do tonight, so I said, hey, why not join the fun,
For sure, dude. No, yeah, it's been a bit. Yeah. But
absolutely.
Did you see the Mario Maker direct?
I did. And my opinion on it is, honestly, I've never played Mario Maker, the first one. I never did.
Okay.
I know that a lot of YouTube careers even started with Mario Maker. It's crazy how many people got into it. It's probably one of those games on the Wii U that a lot of people got into. But by that time, I already had sold my Wii U, and I know it came out for the 3DS as well, but everybody was giving such negative feedback on that version that I just decided not to get it, and instead, just wait for a possible port on the Nintendo Switch. But guess what? We got the second one, which is going to have more features and more stuff. Now, when it comes to Mario Maker, I don't see myself creating a lot of stages.
You're like us. We would just want to suffer by playing all the crazy stages that people make.
Yes, I will torture myself playing a lot of those crazy levels, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time creating levels because, believe it or not, that takes a lot of time. So
you want to make a good one? Absolutely, yeah, they do. They're time consuming, man. But because especially when you want to have a crazy idea, and especially if you want to make it hard, right? You have to find a way where it's this really small space that you can fit in to make it really hard, but then you also have to do it. You have to beat the stage for people to be able to play it, right? If you can't beat it yourself, it ain't gonna happen. So
that's weird.
Right? So you guys have played the hard stages.
The stages are unplayable. How did they do that?
Right, they had to at least do it once. So
they must have had a back door or something.
Maybe there's a secret trick, and that would be more interesting, right? If you find a secret trick to do it. But so that's the thing with building stages in Mario Maker. Not only does it take time because you have to build a crazy stage and be smart about it and plan about it, but also you have to be able to beat it. And if it's a really hard stage like we're talking about, that can take hours in and of itself. So sometimes if you're making a stage, you may not even be sure it's possible. That's the other interesting thing. So you may be struggling to beat a stage that you made so it can be online, but you may not even be sure it's possible. So if you're not even sure it's possible, it adds a whole other psychological factor. So for those people who have made these crazy hard stages, they are super talented and super dedicated. Like it's incredible.
You have to be like, holy moly, these people.
Absolutely. You really have to be creative to add all those details on a level in order for you to make it possible for people to actually finish the level, but at the same time, make it difficult. I've seen some crazy videos on Mario Maker 1 for the Wii U. I mean, people use like Koopa shells, to try to get on other sides on a platform or whatever. It's crazy. I mean, I consider myself a creative person to a certain extent, but I don't think I have the creativity to spend so much time creating levels like that. I downloaded the Super Smash Brothers create, the building your own level thing.
Yeah.
And I haven't created anything. Have I downloaded stages? Absolutely. But have I created any? No. And I feel like something that it's very, I feel like it's a missed opportunity, the fact that Nintendo doesn't have, a variety of stylus that you can actually like purchase. I think there's only one that's gonna come out with Mario Maker, but there isn't any more, is there?
I didn't even pre-order it, so I don't know.
Yeah, so like making your own stage and doing your own, stage with Mario Maker with your fingers, it's just kind of like, if I had a stylus, I mean, that would motivate me more.
I do feel you there. For some of the stages in Smash, using that editor, I do wish I had a bit more accuracy and pinpoint detail. Like, I want that sharp accuracy.
Someone go slap my dogs.
Whose dogs are those? It's not mine. My dog's barking like a minute ago. Someone else's dog is barking now. Oh. What do you have?
I have Nico is a mixed breed. Nobody knows what he is. And then a Maltese. A little Maltese.
Okay. It's cute and adorable. I have a giant chocolate lab who eats everything. And I have 3 cats. They don't make that many noise. They're quiet. So
yeah.
I got a husky.
No, my mom is yelling, oh my god.
Oh man. You have a husky, Ray?
Yeah, I got a husky and I got a cat. The husky, when she was a baby, oh my god, she was so crazy. But as she grew, she kind of has matured, so she's kind of chill now. And the cat has always been chill, so as of right now, I'm not having any problems with them, but my god, when the husky was like a pup, it was terrible. I was even considering giving her away.
Aww.
But I said, you know what? No. And I kept her. So now she's chill. Now we get along great. Now it's awesome.
That's awesome, bro. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, man.
My dog and cats fight all the time. They're all very mischievous. It's adorable. I love them. But they're work, man. They're work. Animals are work.
Yeah, it's kind of like having a baby to a certain extent,
Yeah.
I think. I hope babies are not that difficult.
So I had a conversation with my father the other day. We talked about life, right? And he told me, like, someday when I have a kid, which I don't have a kid, I don't even have a girlfriend. So I got a ways to go, right? Probably want to work on my career first. Like, I'm probably years away, right? But like, I see myself as a kid, like not as an adult yet. But like, he told me, like, the moment I have a kid, like, there's supposed to be like this change, right? Like, it'll be a completely, like, I don't know, like, it's like alien to me because I've never had a kid. I wouldn't understand that, but he tells me, like, it like changes everything about you. Like that kid becomes like the most important thing in your life, and it just it's a life-changing experience.
I see that, especially for moms. So
yeah.
But again, I don't have kids. There's no kids.
I don't relate to it, but I tried to relate to it. Like, is it, I talked to him about my pets, and like whenever like they get hurt or something, I feel it. Like, I'm like, oh no, like I feel that, right? He's like, yeah, it's like that, except like times 200. I'm like, oh, okay, there you go, right? So
Yeah, my sister, I didn't know. My sister used to be one of those girls that used to say, "Oh, I'll never have a child. I'll never have a kid."
Those are the first ones.
Oh, right. And she actually got pregnant.
Wow.
And my God, she was crying. I remember all that. And it was crazy. But, once the child was born, she definitely did change. And, I would say that she's one of the most, hardworking moms out there. Not because she's my sister, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the fact that I used to publish a lot of things about my nephew, which, by the way, I mean, he's doing fine.
Great.
Yeah, but at first, with all that things that were going on with him, I mean, she gave 200%, to be there for him and support him. And she even flew to another state to get better, like hospital for him and everything. She's done a lot for that kid. And you know what? I respect that. And she has matured a lot,
I mean, it kind of hit, like, life hits you hard in that moment, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly.
That's a good thing. It's like an instinct. It's a, I don't know what to call it, but it's an instinct.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
You just get good, like, overnight or something.
I get it as well as I possibly can for someone who doesn't have a kid. But to bring things full circle, I'm sure the love that some people have for their kids or their pets is the kind of dedication that some people need for some of the crazy, insane stages we see in Mario Maker 2, right?
Oh
that
my
we'll see in Mario Maker 2.
Man.
Yeah. So, I'm really excited for some of these stages, and I can't wait to play the game. I thought the Direct was great, but I mean, some people may be a little disappointed about it. It's all about expectations, really. Like, it was what it was. It told us about Mario Maker 2. Now we know about it, and to offer some perspective involving E3 about it, now that we know about it, it also kind of supports my E3 predictions because, well, I said that we would already know a lot about the game by the time E3 would come around, and that they wouldn't focus on it during the Direct. Like, they might mention it, like it might be in a trailer, but it won't get more than a minute or two of time. It'll be mostly just treehouse footage that we'll see after the fact, and they'll save like maybe more of the bigger stuff for the E3 Direct, like Luigi's Mansion 3, Animal Crossing, and maybe that Retro Studios game.
Animal Crossing. I am so ready for that.
Oh man, we're gonna see
Let me
that.
throw my money somewhere. Nintendo.
We're finally gonna see Animal Crossing.
You never played Animal Crossing, have you, Andres?
I played the GameCube one, and I played not the 3DS, the DS one. I never played the 3DS one. I downloaded the mobile game. I only spent like 10 minutes on it.
Okay.
I really enjoy the DS one though. The DS one was me.
Hands. How dare you?
Yeah, I'm a sinner. It had a lot more to do with the fact that I have my 3DS, and I've told the story. I had my 3DS a few years ago. I mean, I got it when it came out, basically. I had a fair bit of games. I had a pretty good collection. I had, at the time, Resident Evil Revelations had just come out for the 3DS. I had Kid Icarus Uprising, Luigi's Mansion, the second one. I had Ocarina of Time 3D. I had 3D World. Like, there was, not 3D Land, I mean. Like, I had a Link Between Worlds. There's so many good 3DS games. But, of course, all the Pokemon games, too, and all the Monster Hunter games. I had all that. I loved it so much. All of my games were thrown away. Like, someone stole my games from my house and threw them away.
Oh, no.
That was very demoralizing for me, right? So
I'd rather lose the console than the stack of games. Because you could just buy another console, but not the stack of games are more like...
Yeah, so...
Oh, and by the way, I think Super Chris is trying to talk to you in chat about something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he wants to... He's checking my DM. That's cool. Maybe I have him on a nerd point. But,
I mean, I could head off if you want to have him on.
No, it's fine. But then maybe the next one we'll have Chris on. But
hey, I just wanted to don't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanted to say, when you were mentioning your list of 3DS games that you owned, I gotta say, I wish Nintendo made another Kid Icarus, whether it's a sequel to Uprising or whatever. That game was such a good game, and a lot of people didn't like the controllers or anything, even though it did have customizable controllers. But I had so much fun with that multiplayer with my friends. At the time that that game came out, I was still in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I used to take my 3DS to college just to play with one of my friends. His name was Owen. And oh my God, instead of doing homework and schoolwork, we would just be out there just playing 3DS, Kid Icarus Uprising, battling it out. It was developed by Sakurai, so it kind of had a feel of Super Smash Brothers to a certain extent. So it was such a great game. I wish we can see a new Kid Icarus.
Oh my God, dude, I would love it. I know there had at one point during the Wii era, Factor 5 was working on a Kid Icarus game. It never came to fruition, obviously, but they have thought about it, and I'm hoping
there's still time.
We have.
I remember that once the game was released, Sakurai was asked about Kid Icarus if he's gonna keep developing it, and he did say that he wasn't planning to develop it anymore, and that he would like to see another game on the franchise being developed like 15 years later or something like that by another developer. So I was like, why do you do that?
Did he put a number to it? I never. No, don't say that.
That's like
yeah. It's actually you can Google it. He did say that.
Sakurai on next Kid Icarus. You think that'll be a good way to?
I want to know like, the story around Kid Icarus. It's not really. I have Uprising, but I just sold it. But then I kind of
that was a long time ago.
All right, so this was in 2012. Yep. Sakurai won't make a Kid Icarus Uprising sequel.
Then have somebody else make it. I mean, there's a lot of talented people out there, not only Sakurai. You just get the formula, put it together, mix it up, put it in the oven, boom.
Oh my God. I'm going to read the quote, guys. So, it's a quick interview. IGN asked if Project Sakurai created a lasting universe the team could return to in future projects, to which Sakurai replied, "If by lasting universe you mean to ask if there's a sequel, the answer is no." Well, that's a fairly cut and dry then, right? But why? Because we pushed a lot into the game in order to let people have this short yet deep experience, but the novelty of that would likely grow thin in the next game. For now, my thought is that perhaps we'll see someone else besides me make another Kid Icarus game in another 25 years. And then another 20... What? 25 years?
I'd rather somebody else make it because...
It's worse than I thought that I remembered it being then.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I feel like someone else... Because there's too much attention on Kid Icarus now within Smash, Palutena, Pit, Black, Dark Pit. So... like, I don't even know who these characters are. Like, Palutena I know more, but the other ones I'm like... What's the story behind you guys? I don't know.
I think it would be. Yeah, I think an HD port. And if you haven't played it, Mandy, I really suggest you to go back if you have the time, because there's so many Switch games out there, that you can barely even go back and play 3DS at this point. But if it ever comes to the Switch or you got the chance to play it. I mean, it's just such a great game with great characters, great dialogue, especially that. It's great. It's a great experience.
I love Kid Icarus. It is one of my favorite 3DS games. Absolutely, 100%. It at least deserves like a remastered port. The upscale it HD. Make the controls a bit more comfortable. On a dual analog control setup on the Switch, it would be very comfortable to use and play. No one would complain about that. Is that they tried to make it work with the touchscreen, right? Because the original 3DS didn't have a second analog stick, so that was one of the challenges with it.
They were also selling another joystick. You remember that?
Yeah, the boat. The boat. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The boat.
That was so ugly.
Let me see if I can pull up the boat so people can see an image of it. The 3DS boat.
A boat?
Yeah. 3DS boat.
$116? What the? This is why I hate like buying stuff off eBay. Like I can never see which one is like.
This is it. Let me pull it up right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. There we go. Yeah. That was it, man. It was this huge hunk thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It looks comfortable though.
I
It looks
remember.
really comfortable.
I remember that. I remember that they were saying, "Well, you can play it with that, you know, you can play it with that, and it plays fine." I was like, "Nope, I'm not buying that."
What kind of game is it? Like, you need all this like accessories.
I
The new
it,
3DS is really good because it has a little nub, and the touchscreen is bigger, so
Oh.
you can use that as well.
I get it.
Whenever I played Monster Hunter 3DS, I honestly would just have the D-pad. You know how you could move around like your controls on a touchscreen? I can move like a D-pad to control the camera on the top right of the touchscreen. Kind of like this image actually right here for Monster Hunter. If you see that, that's literally how I would play my Monster Hunter games. I mean, if I had a new 3DS, I would just use the analog stick. But with the original 3DS, I would just use the touchscreen right there, and it worked for me because my hands could fit there. I didn't need like a boat to control
Oh,
it.
you used to play with I play with it like that sometimes too, because
Yeah.
my thing was like a little like loose on the hinge, so I just like held it up.
Whoa.
Played like the weirdo way, I guess.
It's great that Monster Hunter has moved beyond that now because it's on the Switch. So hopefully you see that at E3. I would really like to see that. But let's move a little bit further down into the topics. We're gonna talk about Discord on Switch, but let's see if there's anything else that came up on the chat here. Let me see. Samus has only played Animal Crossing on the GameCube. Computer Robot Super Mario 2 elements should be added to Mario Maker 2. That would be cool. So actually, one more thing we talked about for Mario Maker 2. Did you guys notice how they showed another space for new game styles? So they had one for 3D World. I'm hoping there's another style for either Mario Odyssey or Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy would be easier because Mario Galaxy literally had 2D
Oh man, I want to play that
elements.
game
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah, that would be really cool to see. And they could have DLC, right? They could have DLC for Mario Land 2 and Odyssey after the game comes out. So let's say the game launches and two new game styles you have are 3D World and Galaxy, and then for DLC we get Odyssey and Mario Land 2. Like, that'd be cool, right? I think the 3D World actual, like, that is interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't like create like 2D versions of all of that for like the different like pixelized styles. Like, there are some features that are only allowed in the 3D World theme. I would have loved it if they would have came up with, you know, they redone some of the elements in 3D World for the other themes and just had them available there, but they didn't. So it's a little bit of a disappointment, but I'm still really happy they're offering 3D World gameplay, well, 2D style of it in the game.
I would think if they're going to add like a 3D mode on Super Mario Maker 2, it more than likely would play something like Super Mario 3D Land, or maybe like 3D.
Well, I mean, it's not
Something like
3D, right? It's all 2D, but I mean, you know, you see the polygons, right? You see the depth to it. I don't doubt. I doubt that it would be anything beyond just the 2D plane, right? Like, everything within that space, they're not gonna offer like, you know, like a 3D platformer. That would be, maybe that'll be Mario Maker 3, right? Where we actually can like edit 3D environments.
That would be cool though.
That may never happen actually. That would just,
No, it may never, but hey, it's cool to dream, right?
yeah, no, it'd be really cool to see.
They should
Absolutely.
make Mario Kart Maker. I'll be on that.
Mario Kart whoa.
Zelda Maker.
Oh.
Okay, that's too crazy. Zelda Maker.
Well, 2D Zelda Maker's not. If you could like make dungeons and
No,
stuff.
but it's like Zelda is a story-based game. Let's leave that one alone.
Okay, I see.
I don't know. I'm very possessive with Zelda.
Oh, Metroid
But to
Maker.
be
Imagine making like
I
labyrinths
mean-
and boss enemies and stuff.
To be fair, have you guys played RPG Maker?
No.
No, not at all. It's basically kind of like Mario Maker, but you create your own RPG. You know, your own turn-based RPG. If they did something like that, they could probably do something with Zelda. I'm not saying like 3D Zelda or anything like that, but maybe like classic
it's
Zelda.
like- It's doesn't seem right. Like Mario, okay, because the stages are, but I don't know about Zelda. Like, okay, hold the brakes, dear.
Yeah.
I don't want to make like all my games now.
Yeah.
The Mario Kart Maker would be cool. I will make the sickest Rainbow Road ever.
Just adding a track editor to Mario Kart would be insane. That would be great. I mean, we had a track editor for F-Zero, technically, in, well, you had a vehicle editor in F-Zero GX, but for F-Zero X with the 64DD, the expansion, there was an expanded version of F-Zero X, which had a track editor, which is insane. I wish the 64DD didn't fail. It would have been so cool to see that come out in the States. If that panned out, we would have had the Euro Zelda, right, the expanded Ocarina of Time, which we kind of saw elements of in Majora's Mask. But man, I wish the disc drive actually happened. That was such a cool concept. Nintendo would have been one of the first ones to really like delve into like online connectivity with the N64. They had some stuff, and like with the, if I remember correctly, in Japan they had done some stuff with the Super Nintendo, I think, or the NES. They had some online options with those systems. So it's not like Nintendo never like got into the online functionality. They didn't really get into online gaming until obviously really late. But Nintendo has been dabbling with like online connectivity for a while. I'm sorry I went on a 64DD rant. Save that for another day. But let's get into back on track. Unless there's anything you guys want to add in relation to that.
I'm good.
All right.
No, I mean we can continue.
So, Discord on Switch. Discord would love to get involved. Let's see if I can pull it up.
They're practically giving Nintendo like something at least until they make their own stuff. Like a good way to connect and play with other players. And then they're like, maybe. I mean, of course it's a business and all that, so there's more to it than just yes and no. But the online system right now is pretty dank.
Yeah.
Even the app is like, there's only 2 or 3 games, and it's like,
I hate that app.
I don't use it unless like I want to look at Smash pictures, which by the way, that's another thing. I find it weird that you can't just record Smash footage like normally.
You have to do it.
You have to do all these different mechanics just to get a video clip.
I will say that you can do a lot with it.
Yeah, you can, but it's like not even your own because you can't even like take it out the source and.
True. It is weird.
Weren't they allowing Weren't they allowing with Mario Kart 8 for you to record your videos and upload them to YouTube with the Wii U?
You were able to do that. I remember, with Mario Kart on Wii U, you were able to upload videos onto YouTube from Mario. There was like a Mario Kart. They had the modem there. I remember that.
I wonder, I mean, it would be so cool if you could do the same thing with Super Smash Brothers, you know?
You can with most games on the Switch. You could just hold down the camera button and record like the last 30 seconds. Or in Smash, you have all the saved files and stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't let you put it on Twitter or.
You can't. There's nothing on YouTube.
On their YouTube.
You can put it on Facebook and Twitter, I think.
No, like Twitter, it's a picture with the link to the YouTube account that it's on, like the server.
Okay.
You can't even take your own video and kind of, I guess you have to download it somewhere else. It's just get it in Elgato.
No, I love Nintendo, but sometimes they make things that just don't make any sense. I hate that app. I really do.
Yeah, they like Discord, please. Honestly, but people are like, Nintendo doesn't need it, the PlayStation doesn't have it, the Xbox doesn't have it. I'm like, well, does the PlayStation or Xbox need it? No, the Switch needs it. Like, people are so quick to shut down the online argument when they talk about Nintendo because they know it's dank, it's bad, and they just refuse to talk about it. Like
I'm just not going to talk about it. Sorry, man.
Like, no. I'm hyped for my Nintendo games and all that, so I'm just not. You are like we're expecting too much. I'm paying $50 for something subpar.
I would like better voice chat options. Like, it's cool to play with a couple friends and just not have it be complicated. I want it all in the system. I wish the Joy-Cons and the Switch Pro controller had an audio jack. Like, come on. You can't even plug in a headset. That's ridiculous.
Especially the Pro Controller, how pricey it is.
Right. It doesn't have it. I think that's one of the terrible things. Like I love the Pro Controller. Like there's so many things about it that are great.
It just needs a jack so you can listen. Or if you're playing in the car, you don't have to. It's just way easier sometimes.
Right.
And not long ago, it was revealed that Nintendo was planning to release a Pro Controller with a headphone jack.
Really?
Do you guys see that?
No, I did.
Yeah. I think I retweeted that, and I was like, why didn't they do it?
It makes too much sense, I guess.
Cut on cost. It would have cost us an additional 39 cents. Oh, that controller's already overpriced. Like,
but seriously, guys.
I love the controller. It's one of my favorites, but come on, put a jack.
At least like start releasing new ones with an audio jack. I mean, my God. And if you don't want to do that, another potential fix is to have an adapter, right? Where's my controller?
I don't want an adapter. I'm tired of adapters in Nintendo.
I'm sorry.
The online adapter is the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
So, you see this thing? This hellish device that allows you to use normal headphones with your iPhone?
Oh yeah,
That's basically what Nintendo could do with this. Like, just have something where it plugs in and you can plug in your audio jack. What if this worked? That'd be crazy. It doesn't.
A third-party company should get on that. I would buy.
Yeah, that is something simple that they could do. That would be a fix, so everyone who already has a Pro Controller that wants a solution instead of having to buy a whole other controller that has one would be that. But I mean, maybe it's not even possible. I'm not sure what sort of
because this whole voice chat, it's not kind of, I guess, necessary. Well, they see it because if you have voice chat, you automatically the control has to be well. I think if Nintendo, they'll probably make it as you could only voice chat like when handheld or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Someone is screaming in my background.
Oh, I got scared. I thought that was someone on my door.
No, it's one of my roommates. He doesn't know I'm doing a podcast right now. Yeah.
I was
gonna say, who's that?
Yeah. Just give me a second. I'm gonna let him know. Just let him know. We're good.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's good. It's good.
That's so funny. I actually looked around my office just to see where it was coming from.
I thought it was on my door. I got scared. I was like, what? I'm on camera. Something happens.
Hey guys, so serious question. How does Discord works? Because I used to have a Discord account and I feel like I joined way too many groups and it got very chatty and I just was like, oh god.
Well, basically it could work in like a whole bunch of ways. For the Switch case, I don't think it needs like the servers and all that. Like basically you make your own server and you have people chat in it and stuff. Or you could join other people's server. But you turn off the notifications because it could get really annoying.
Right.
So, there's a lot of people talking. It's kind of like I don't even know what to call it. Like a group chat. Like if you have someone in group chat on your cell phone, but they're like random people.
Oh, gotcha.
Not completely random, but like people you talk to online.
No, you can basically create like your own forums, your own personal forums, like and have different like sub forums and the individual like direct messages and video calls and voice calls and chatting. Like you can do all of that and have mods. Like imagine any sort of like communication feature combined into one, right? It's like Skype and I don't know, like IGN boards and Google Hangouts and AIM all combined, I guess, kind of. Right, and instant messenger, like it's like all that combined.
It could be like used for like channels for all their fans to talk together, get to know each other.
Yeah, it's very gamer centric, right? Like it even you can even have it set up where it can tell people what game you're playing currently and things like that.
Yeah, but be careful because some people abuse the Discord. That's why you have mods.
Yeah,
and because it could get. I've seen some horror stories. Like, holy moly.
Yeah. Well, the experience I got, I mean, it wasn't horrible or anything, but I'll tell you that I remember my phone just kept vibrating and vibrating.
Yeah, I have to turn off my notifications because it's too much for me to see. Especially like if I'm driving and I'm using my phone as a GPS, which is I always do. So if I'm seeing all these notifications come up while I'm looking at directions, it becomes a huge problem. Don't die. Not on camera. You okay?
Yeah, choking on water.
Oh.
Weird.
Oof. I do agree, Sabbath. I should probably put some sort of sign for my podcast. Like I've been thinking about getting like a red recording light saying, "Oh, recording in progress," like at my door. That'd be kind of cool to have, actually. So.
I don't think it would work at my door because they usually make loud noise downstairs. My family. So I have to put it at like the front door of the house.
That'd be interesting. Like, I guess if you have a 2-story house, it's harder. For me, like, so we live like in kind of like a townhouse sort of thing. So like, it's all one floor really, right? So if people see the red light in the hallway, then because I would assume I have a red light, that would be like, oh, there's a red light. Okay, recording in progress. Hopefully that would help a little bit. My walls are they're like shallow, dude.
Screaming.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
So my opinion, I have a hard time. It's not that I don't want to Discord to work on the Switch. It's just that I have a hard time seeing it happen for a few different reasons. One, Nintendo has to give the blessing, right? But two, I think
of the nerve.
Right. I think there has to be some sort of like it takes processing power to have it work in the background constantly, right? And I think Nintendo has a certain RAM allotted to the Switch itself to run whatever it needs to run. Everything else is just for performance. The Switch is, like, especially for some games, like, the amount of performance it has, it's very limited, right? It doesn't have, like, a lot of extra space. So I wonder if one of the reasons why we don't have, like, a traditional, like, voice chat system and things of that nature is they're trying to be very minimal with the Switch.
I mean, okay, it's there. We've heard it, like, in Fortnite and stuff.
Right,
so
you can do that.
It's not the best quality, no.
No, it's not.
But it's still, or you could put like your headphones.
So, but well, my point is though is that I think the developers for the game itself integrated into the game. They had that in mind when it came to performance of that particular game, right? If you were to do it on a system level, each developer can't really do that. If that makes sense. So it might come down more to the developer. Maybe, Discord could facilitate some sort of program like that, right? Xbox Live might also turn out to be a solution for that instead of Discord, because we know that's going to be available to Switch to some capacity as well. So,
but like they don't have to put all the features of Discord like on the PC version.
Right.
They could put like a very vanilla version just for the Switch that pretty much just puts everybody in the same lobby to talk.
I would love that. I hope that's possible. I don't know if it is, right? I hope it is. I feel like it should be. It shouldn't be that demanding, you would think, right? But then you wonder, with how minimal the Switch operating system already is, why is it? Like, there's so many things that the operating system could have that it doesn't right now, and I have to wonder why, right? We're more than 2 years in. They haven't done anything. So,
well, Nintendo is a lot of great things, but they're weird.
Yes.
When it comes to some aspects.
Weird
like,
is
what are you even thinking? So, because they should have had a good online system to begin with when the Switch came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, out the gate. But that wasn't the case, and now we have online. Okay, $20. Still bad. So, the waiting game is the best.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy when you think about way back. Nintendo was probably one of the first ones who started testing online,
The 3DS had more online features.
Actually, you're right, and it worked better in a lot of aspects.
I feel like, I don't know why they totally abandoned ship on that, but, that's a problem. Because, a lot of people do co-op. Which, by the way, most of the games are kind of like in-person co-op, not multiplayer co-op. And that kind of sucks. Like Mario Kart and Smash, obviously you can play online, but other games, not really, like Mario Party. That should have made the whole online switch by now, but it kind of did a 50-50. So.
Mm-hmm. So, let's just move ahead. I think we all want Discord on Switch. Nintendo's hard to predict. We never know what'll happen. Fingers crossed, right? Or if not Discord, maybe Xbox Live or something. Or Nintendo themselves just does something that's not terrible. You know, you never know. We can be optimistic. I'll be realistic, though. I don't expect it. But, yeah, maybe something will happen someday.
It's not like a deal breaker for me, but it's kind of like annoying.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely annoying. But, as we referenced earlier, Nintendo, this is technically a rumor, Nintendo, along with Sony, which is not rumor, are going to be working with Microsoft. I believe the company's called Azure. It's like it's like their streaming program where they're going to be working with their technologies to get a better idea of how to stream games moving forward. So it's really interesting because...
That's exciting.
You know,
because I'm a streamer.
Streaming games.
I mean,
the way of the future. At least it's gonna be an aspect.
Paycheck, man.
Say that again.
I said that's like a paycheck because me and you, and maybe Chris, not Chris, the other guy. What's your name again?
What do you mean? I'm Ray Cabana.
Oh.
Ray Cabana.
Hello.
You've been talking to me all the time. You don't know who I am.
No, I didn't hear your name.
No,
so
that's fine.
I thought you were Chris or something.
No. No.
So awkward.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't even know what I was saying though.
No, you were saying something about like a paycheck for like Android.
Oh yeah, because we stream and stuff, so it's a big deal.
But do you think that would be related to like so what it seems to be is that these programs will be Sony will have their own option for that, Nintendo will as well, and they'll work with Microsoft and get a good technology running together that will be a good streaming platform, meaning there are games that you'll be able to stream. So for example, the Switch already has some games that you can stream, like Resident Evil 7, for example. You can stream that if you have the Japanese version, and it works in Japan. But over here, it's so far away that it lags like crazy. But like for example, streaming platforms like that where you can stream games a lot, right? And the thing is, if the rumors are true, the Nintendo Switch will have Xbox Game Pass, and a lot of games that are on Xbox One can't run on the Switch natively. But if it has Xbox Game Pass, maybe it streams a lot of those games, right? So by streaming, you can play anything, really. And it won't be gimped in terms of graphics because it's relying on your internet connection rather than the performance of the system. If you have a good internet connection, the game will look and run great. Granted, we're still behind. Some people don't have the best connections. There's latency issues. There's all these ifs and considerations. But ideally, if you have a great internet connection with your system, you can play a beautiful looking game and, you don't have to worry about performance at all.
Yeah, and that's something that they've been doing with in Japan with Resident Evil 7, right?
Yeah.
They also, I don't know if they actually did it, but I heard that they were going to do it with Assassin's Creed Odyssey as well. But yeah, streaming games doesn't really, the Switch doesn't have to, I guess, execute those graphics, as if they were actually developing the game for the Switch or anything like that. It's just streaming. So I see it possible. I think that Microsoft is doing a great job with that. And, now that it's happening with Sony, that's definitely a plus. I'd definitely like to stream some games on my Switch, especially the rare games.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think streaming natively is kind of a good thing because if voice chat isn't even possible on the Switch, like imagine the power it has to take to stream an actual game.
Well, that's the thing. You don't need any power, just having a good internet connection.
Yeah, but even because there's so much like in play that has to go into a stream. Like I had to get a new PC, all that, because my laptop isn't really powerful enough. So I'm just wondering.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that like all you need to run a game is a stable internet connection that it goes above like 25 Mbps, and that's pretty much it.
That's a lot. Holy moly.
That's a lot, but the Switch can go above that with Wi-Fi if you have a good internet connection. So like mine was always 30 plus, right? But I have great internet. Right? I have great internet. Like I probably max out the Switch's Wi-Fi capacity, right? Like the Wi-Fi card probably can't accomplish any more. So for me, right, I'm not concerned about it. Like my Switch will probably be able to stream fine inside my house. But for those who don't have a good internet connection, it's just that's the problem. Not everyone has those kinds of speeds. A lot of people don't, and sometimes it doesn't matter how much money you have. It's dependent upon your location, right? Some areas of the world just don't offer those kinds of speeds regardless.
That's true, but I just don't really think, like, if you want to stream, get an Elgato, plug it in, but I don't think natively, because again, we can't have voice chat.
Well, just to make sure we're clear, right? We're talking about being able to play a game through internet connection. We're not talking about sharing streams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Totally different story.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, being able to stream a game. I mean, yeah, I'm with you there. Like sharing a game live feed from your Switch. I don't think they had that in mind when they made the Switch.
No.
Right? Maybe the Switch Pro, right, will have that in mind. Maybe, but the base Switch, no. Yeah, I don't expect that to ever be a feature.
I was kind of confused. I was like, how can I my Switch?
Yeah, we mean basically like a competitor to Google Stadia.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's what we're getting at. And like, if the idea is that eventually the Switch will be able to stream games that are also on Xbox One, like high fidelity games that wouldn't be run really well on the Switch, but because if you stream it, doesn't matter. As long as you have a good internet connection, it'll look and run great. And I'll just go back to the problem though. A lot of people don't have a great and stable internet connection, and even when you do have a great and stable internet connection, sometimes it's still just, it won't always work well. It just happens sometimes.
Now, I think it's what they call it, where you basically could play like old games and stuff.
Yes. But
you have to stream it. Sometimes it would. Not all the time, granted, it was pretty good, but sometimes it was annoying.
Yeah, PlayStation Now is an example of that. And it looks like Sony is going to do something a lot better than that moving forward. And it looks like Microsoft is at the head of all of this. And because Microsoft is partnering with both Nintendo and Sony, they're competitors in the actual gaming world, and they're partnering with them.
Well, I think to us, it might look like they're competitors because the different companies they're against, but probably to them it's more business. Like they're not really.
If it makes sense for them, they'll do it.
Yeah, like it's a PlayStation, but no, like if they see an opportunity, even if it's with the competitor, then
I feel like for Microsoft, this is a very good opportunity because when you think about it, Microsoft is an American company, and then you have Sony and Nintendo, which are Japanese. Microsoft has never been popular in the Japanese market at all. Okay. So this could be a pretty good way of them penetrating that market, through other companies, whether it's
I think
Nintendo
it's over here, like than over. I don't think people in Japan really care for an Xbox.
No, but if they add that streaming service, and charge, whatever they're going to charge, I'm pretty sure that those who have Nintendo Switches over there, which are 34 million people, I'm pretty sure they'll pay something, just to be able to stream games. A lot of people in that, Japan over there, they usually do stuff like that, and it would be a good business for Microsoft, especially with the domination that Nintendo Switch is having. Now, I have to agree with Andres. I mean, I think the drawback of that service is that, not a lot of people do have internet. Like, for example, if I talk to you about back home, I mean, people barely have internet right now, and they barely have internet, or they just have really bad internet.
Yeah, it's kind of a luxury over here. Sometimes we take for granted, but you got to keep in mind, like other people, like third world countries or somewhere else, probably don't have internet. It's so common here that someone who says I don't have internet, I'm like, what?
I gotta tell you, when I came here to the United States for the first time, the internet I used to have back home, I remember I used to have, I don't know, I forgot the name of it, but I used to download music, And I remember that in order for me to make a CD with music, it would take me a whole week. And then when I came here to the United States, and I used the same software to download music, music would download in minutes. And I was like, what the heck? How is this so fast? But that's the quality of internet you have in places like that. So it's like, that's a drawback of that service, I feel.
That's definitely like an American cater thing, because it's pretty common internet over here. Even like if you're, poor, you have internet. A lot of people have internet. If not, you go to like, somewhere and then there's an internet reach.
Yeah. I also wanted to say that I saw a couple people, not gonna name drop or anything, but I saw a couple people saying that we will see like Nintendo games PlayStation, streaming on PlayStation 4, and that Stadia should be scared of that. What do you guys think about that?
They're wrong.
I mean,
you don't know any. You don't really know the industry if you're talking about Nintendo games being playable on a PlayStation legally. That you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not trying to be. Well, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just being matter of fact. You don't know what you're talking about. That's not how Nintendo works. Now, does that mean that it could never, ever, ever, ever happen in the history of everything? No, maybe 50 years from now, things are different. But as this thing stand now, the way Nintendo is now, the relationship that they have, how they respect their IP is the most important thing to them, right? That's what makes them special. They're going to keep that close to their chest. The moment Nintendo gives up their IP to other companies to use, they kind of lose their biggest bargaining chip. Because here's the thing, right? Google Stadia, in some ways, is kind of intimidating because it's Google, right? Google's like the closest company. They're controlling the world. It's incredible. And they're going to try to get into the gaming space. Now, if there's any company besides the big three that could maybe make a dent, it might be Google, right? I would say that Valve and Epic are also pretty powerful, but my point is that Google, has the infrastructure to have the technology to pull something special off. But do they have the connections? Do they have the know-how of the industry, the relationships? Will they have good games? Will they market it well? Would it really be conducive to a good gaming environment? There are all these different ifs that they have to get through, and then there's marketing, and on top of that, Xbox, with their own cloud, is really ahead of the game here because they already have an established foothold in the gaming industry. They have the relationships, they have the games, they're going to have Xbox on Nintendo, they're working with Sony, they're working with the other two big three, right? So if I had to place my bets, I'm betting on Microsoft with their streaming service to destroy Google Stadia, right? I think Google Stadia is just going to be another one of those, I don't know, like, do you remember what, the Ouya, right? Like, it's not like people are hearing about Google Stadia sort of thinking, oh, it's going to happen, but if you know the history of the gaming industry, it's not the first time another company has tried to get involved. The reason you don't hear about them is because they never go far. So
yeah, Google, I think they have a better case than Ouya, but
we'll see.
The Ouya got released.
Ouya did sell over 1 million. Right. I would say that Google probably has a good shot at doing it beyond that, especially considering that you'll be able to play Google Stadia games on any platform that can use a Google Chrome browser, which is crazy. All you need is good internet connection, a Google Chrome browser, and you can play games. That's just what it is. And I mean, well, you might need a controller, but almost every controller is Bluetooth, and it is going to integrate with different devices. It's going to work with Switch controllers, PlayStation controllers, Xbox controllers, which is all great. And they're going to have, of course, there's going to be their own Stadia controller, which brings it back to my point, though, right? The industry is moving further into like digital gaming and cloud streaming and things of that nature. And if that happens, it's going to take away some of the value from hardware. Now, Nintendo's focused on hardware and making it unique. Like, you look what the Switch is. It's multiple game devices in one. As a beautiful form factor because it's a form factor that changes, that adapts to the type of play style that a player could have, right? As people like to play games on the train, they like to play at home, they like to do tabletop, they have these different options, right? But it may get to a point where you can play games on any sort of device, so Nintendo may find it a lot harder to sell units, right? So they may get to a point where, like, oh my god, all we have left is our games. Like, that's their most important thing, their IP, and that's what makes them special. I just going back to the point that if talking about Nintendo allowing their games to be on other systems, they're not going to do that because that's what's going to allow people to, that's what makes people buy Nintendo, right? Their games.
Exactly. That's what I kept saying. I mean, that's what sell Nintendo consoles. Why would Nintendo give them a way for people to be able to stream it in other consoles? It's like, I don't know. I just thought I brought that in the topic because, since we're talking about streaming games and the Xbox service and all that good stuff, I thought, it belonged in the same realm of it. So, but yep.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see how things play out. I think Google Stadia has a chance, right, to do well, but I'm placing my bets on Microsoft's cloud to be a better service that will reach a larger audience. But we'll see. We'll see how things pan out. Actually, how do you guys feel about that? Do you think Google Stadia is going to be successful? And to put that into perspective, successful meaning like it's relevant. It becomes like the Netflix of gaming, which is what they want to do, like something along those lines.
Honestly, I don't know, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't know too much of it in order for me to be able to formulate an opinion to see whether or not we still need a lot of information in order for me to be able to, at least give an opinion whether it'll be successful or not. But I can tell you that Google as a whole is a successful company. I know
it doesn't mean everything they do is successful though.
I don't know. I mean, when it comes to cell phones, for example, I mean they've continued making cell phones, but they're not better than Samsung. They're not better than other cell phone makers out there. I mean they've kept their brand, but they're in a different market, and I don't know if that'll be enough. I feel like the information that we got is just not enough for me to know whether it's going to be successful or not. So far, what I've heard, I am not interested, but that could change. So
they are working on their own games. If those games come out and they're really good, that would be a sell, right? We need to learn about the pay structure as well. How are they going to make money? How are they going to charge us? That's important as well. We also need to learn about performance, like how good of an internet connection do you really need to have a quality gaming experience, right? There's all these questions that have yet to be answered. So we'll see how things pan out, obviously. But let's get into the chat, unless there's anything else you guys want to bring up in reference to Stadia or just Nintendo streaming,
I'm good.
Okay. Cool. So I'll go to this question. Sam is asking, Andres, do you think Nintendo will release a new Pro controller? I wish. I have no idea. Do you guys think that Nintendo will release a new Pro controller? They did.
They need to.
The initial Pro controller had an issue with the D-pad, and now newer models have a better D-pad. But
yeah, I had the first Pro controller.
Yeah, me too, unfortunately. Yeah. So they didn't do a branding change with it. It was just the same brand, just better model.
To customize it more. The Zelda theme one would be nice. They only have the Smash, which I was gonna get, but then I ran out of money. So
I want the Smash Pro controller and the Xenoblade Pro controller, but I never got around to getting them. I tried to get them with the pre-orders, but they were hard.
I'm pretty sure we'll get different styles, with different themes, you guys are saying, Super Smash Brothers, but a different version
of
with
an
Pro
audio
controller?
jack. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
I think the best bet is to someday they have an audio jack adapter. But I think one thing to take into consideration, though, is that if and when a Switch Pro comes out, which could be within a year or so from now, maybe, right? They may have a more deluxe gaming version of the Switch, and they will be more appealing to gamers, which is what the reports have said. And during that time, they may think, okay, what would that be? Maybe more of a better voice chat system could be in place, right? Which may entail having newer controllers that have audio jacks available, right? So when the Switch Pro comes out, there may be some better solutions to be more, inviting to more of us traditional gamers that like some of these features. That's the only time I would look, and I'd be I'm sort of anticipating that they could have some sort of change. I don't know if that would mean a new Pro controller, but I'm just saying, look forward to when Nintendo does eventually announce some sort of Switch Pro. It won't be called the Switch Pro, I doubt it. We'll see. So
here you go, the new Switch Pro controller. It'll cost with a headphone jack. It'll cost you $90.
and
Basically,
it hovers.
it hovers. No,
That'd be
that's too
dope.
gracious. That's
That'd
too
be-
gracious.
Yeah, I know.
Headphone jack. That's it. That's all you're getting.
No, in all seriousness,
You're in
I-
there.
in all seriousness, I do love my Pro controller. I think it's a great controller.
It is.
It's a fantastic controller. Just,
But
I mean,
like,
I've already,
it's
I've
so
already,
expensive. You just buy once, and that better not break it. That's why I recommend like other people buy like third-party pro controllers
But
if you
they're
have
not as
guests.
good.
Yeah,
They're not as
but if
good.
you have guests or something, you just give those to them so they don't like harm your
Right.
controller.
yeah,
Or
I
you
have
have
one pro
multiple-
controller and I have third-party controllers for the rest. Yeah.
Yeah, you just get the trash controllers.
I got like three of the $70 Pro controllers. I got the regular one. I got the Smash one. I got the Splatoon one.
Lucky. I was gonna get the Smash, but like I said, I ain't got money, so I stopped the pre-order.
Oh man, I got it just to show it on my brother's face because he got one himself, and he was like, "Look, you don't have it, and I just pull it out of my pocket. What are you saying? What was that? Huh? I can't hear you.
So,
$70 later. I hope it was worth it.
so I see Sabbath and Mastermind are talking about Rare maybe coming back to Nintendo. How would you like it if there were to be some Rare games that were available on the Switch?
Honestly, I'm tired of Rare and like Banjo-Kazooie. Oh
What?
wait, hot take alert! Hot take alert!
You are breaking Andres' heart.
His face, I was like,
How do I punish thee?
I
Sinner?
know, you know, we
You don't
all
have
our
you don't
opinions.
have to have the same
That's it.
opinions. That's okay.
It's okay. You know.
I don't hate you or anything like that.
His face.
I'm not plotting your demise. I'm not doing anything
I
of the sort.
forgot you're like a Rare diehard.
No, that's fine. You're good. I'm playing. We're good. I don't agree. I don't agree with it, but that's fine. We're disagreements are a part of discussion, right? That's
Well,
what makes
mainly
things
it's
interesting.
So
What's
Oh,
your
you
problem?
said that you're tired about. Man, she.
Are you just tired of the talk? Did you ever play the games?
no, I don't like the style of the games. I played ukulele. It was okay.
Ukulele's trash.
Oh, damn.
That's
Wow, man.
by perspective.
Something that plays like banjo, I thought you would be like.
Well,
No, it's
Banjo-Kazooie-
not a good banjo. I mean, they tried, but no.
Banjo-Kazooie is.
I just like, want people to move past that banjo phase. He's gone. He's gonna stay in the past. I'm sorry.
What are you
I'm
doing,
telling you
Mandy?
right now, Mandy, I'm telling you right now.
What
Mark
are you
my
doing?
words. Mark my words. What time is it? 10:47 p.m. Eastern Time. It is May 20th, 2019. I'm telling you right now. Banjo and Kazooie are coming back. Mark my words.
Captain America thing.
It's happening. Oh, I know it.
Alright, I mean, cheers if it is. It's not my game. Maybe
That's
I'll give
fine.
it a try if it comes back.
I don't like.
Honestly, I back in the day, I did try Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. I thought they were fun games. Me going back to play them now, I don't know. I don't think I can, but I'm not saying they're bad games. I don't know. I just haven't gotten the opportunity of going back. I have the Rare Replay on Xbox. I just don't play Xbox so much.
I mean, it's aged pretty bad. Like,
Have you played Banjo-Kazooie?
oh my god.
Have you played it?
No, I haven't.
I think if you were to play Banjo-Kazooie, you would say, wow, for an N64 game, this is aged really well. For an N64 game, I'm not going to say that N64 games age well. N64 games are some of the worst aging games there are. But across most of the N64 games, I wouldn't even go as far as saying that if you were to play Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie, taking nostalgia out of the equation, you would even say that Banjo-Kazooie is a better done platforming game.
That is blasphemy.
It's not.
Oh my
Not.
god.
I
Banjo-Kazooie
actually
learned from
agree.
Mario 64. They
I
learned
actually
from Mario
agree.
64.
I actually agree with Andres. I did enjoy Banjo-Kazooie more than Mario 64 when I was a
Well, to
child.
be honest, I played Mario 64, the remake, on the 3DS or 2DS. No, just the DS.
Good remake, by the way.
So,
Some people think it's bad, but I really liked it as well. I thought it was fun. I think people had a problem with the controls.
That's the thing with most old games. They didn't know how to like tighten the controls.
Right.
Or it's not like
And Banjo's a
Resident Evil
lot
4,
smoother.
but it's like it's more freer. I don't know. They have some control issues back there.
Mm.
So yeah, if it comes back, I'll give it a shot. I promise you.
You don't have to give a shot. There's
Put
so
that
many
on the
games
list.
out there. I'm just saying.
Resident Evil 4 and Banjo-Kazooie. I got it.
Those are some great games.
Well, Resident Evil 4 is like a headache.
Resident
if I
Evil
can't
4?
control the character, then the game is. I can't play the game.
It's interesting you say that though, because I would say that Monster Hunter, and you like Monster Hunter, is designed in a way to have controls that feel cumbersome, right? Like you have to get used to it.
That's practice, but with, like Resident Evil 4, it's meant to be like that. It's not gonna change. I mean, you could get better at maneuvering, at getting like used to the thing. Okay, so I probably didn't give it that much of a shot before putting it down. I tend to do that a lot. If I don't really like a game, especially if it runs bad, I'll put it down without really.
To be totally clear, right? While Resident Evil 4 is one of my favorite games ever, and I think Banjo-Kazooie is a very good platformer, I don't hate you for having a different opinion. That's fine.
I know you don't hate
That is fine. You're completely entitled to that opinion. That is okay. I'm not crying on the inside or anything like that.
I'll give it a shot if we were to have like a Switch.
Yeah.
Thingy.
Did you like Mario Odyssey?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I love Mario games.
I would go as far as saying that Mario Odyssey, in terms of the way it plays, reminds me more of Banjo. Like, I feel like Mario Odyssey, it's almost like Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, and then Mario Odyssey in terms of like control progression, if that makes any sense.
I like Mario Galaxy.
Oh, Mario Galaxy is amazing, but it's more linear.
What?
Mario Galaxy is linear.
I mean, it's not okay.
I just mean when I say linear, right? It's not like you go from point A to B. In Mario Odyssey, you have this giant area you run around, explore at any sort of pace.
Galaxy didn't feel really linear because it's like a galaxy. So, but yeah, I like Sunshine too.
I love Sunshine, and there are people who hate Sunshine. I love Sunshine.
I'm one of those people.
What?
And Ray, I'm also going to plot your demise as well. You're both on my shit list. I'm just kidding.
I'll say this. But when it comes to like the Mario games, the 3D Mario games, it's my least favorite one. You know, you got Mario 64, you got Super Mario Galaxy.
You think
you got
what about
Mario
3D
Odyssey.
World and 3D Land?
I'm sorry?
What about 3D World and 3D Land? Do you think it's worse than those?
I forgot.
I actually.
You didn't think about those, did you?
So this is interesting. I think 3D Land is better than Mario Sunshine, but I think Mario Sunshine is better than 3D World.
So what's interesting about that is that from a technical perspective, I'd say 3D World is far better than 3D Land and Sunshine, right? But it also there's expectations, right, and scope. And I think for the 3DS, 3D Land was really impressive. I thought it was really special. 3D World was a bit of a disappointment for me. I still 100%ed it for perspective, right? I still 100%ed 3D World, right? So I still really loved it and enjoyed it. I didn't care for the multiplayer at all. I thought that was very frustrating, right? But just playing the platforming experiences was fun. But Sunshine has had a much greater lasting impact on me. Granted, I played when I was a lot younger, and I do understand Sunshine has more issues. Like, 3D World is way more polished. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, unless you want to get into the multiplayer aspect. But in terms of, like, single player, it's very polished. I just don't like the direction of it. It doesn't inspire me or motivate me as much as other Mario games.
It's not a bad game at all. It's just, you know, at the time, I was expecting another, perhaps Mario Galaxy 3 or something like that, you know? And I had played Super Mario 3D Land, and I thought it was an amazing game. But it's a 3DS game, you know? It works well I felt that with a 3DS system, I didn't want to see something like that, on the Wii U. I wanted to see something bigger, than that. So, I mean, perhaps you're right. I will say this. I do have to give props to Super Mario Sunshine because it tried to be different in a lot of ways, compared to Mario 64, which was the only 3D Mario platform we had at the time. But even when you compare it to like other titles that came after that, Super Mario Sunshine, it seems like very different from those other titles, and that's why it has developed like a cult following. I don't hate it, but definitely not one of my favorites 3D Marios. I love Odyssey though.
Odyssey is a modern classic.
Yeah.
Both Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey to me prove that Nintendo can still make games that rival some of my favorite games of all time. And that was special to see. Like, because during the Wii U era, I was honestly thinking, hey, what if the reason that I loved Nintendo games so much is just because I played them when I was a kid, and Nintendo's not really as good as they used to be, right? Like, that was like a fear. But then Nintendo they didn't really have any really ambitious games that came out during the Wii U era, right? Like, the most ambitious game they had was Xenoblade X, and that was my favorite game on the Wii U, right? Excluding Breath of the Wild, because it came out on Switch as well. But minus Xenoblade X, I was thinking, man, does Nintendo still have what it takes? Like, there's no Zelda, there's no, like the Mario that came out was 3D World, and as we both have said, 3D World is kind of like, had like a minimal scope, it wasn't as ambitious, and for the both of us, it's kind of like the lowest tier 3D Mario game, right? So I was thinking, man, like, what if Nintendo just doesn't have that magic anymore, right? But then in comes the Nintendo Switch, in comes The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, in comes Super Mario Odyssey. I'm like, nope, they're still the best. Like, those games, I would say Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are probably the top 5 games that have come out in the last 10 years.
I would say that about Breath of the Wild, but not Mario Odyssey, for me.
You feel that way about Breath of the Wild, but not Mario Odyssey?
Because I'm not, I don't know, there's a lot of other games.
Maybe you're platformer biased. Maybe that's why I don't like Banjo-Kazooie.
No, it's just, other games too.
Yeah, there are other great games. What others do you have in mind? I didn't finish God of War, but I thought it was pretty good.
Let's see. There's a lot of ports. Just looking at Splatoon, Hyrule Warrior. Well, that's a port. Gosh, this is embarrassing. There's a lot of games.
Well, I'll tell you something, Andres. On going back on what you were saying about Nintendo losing their magic, I never felt that way about the Mario franchise because I always thought they were, Mario Galaxy was a great game, and then Mario Galaxy 2 was an improvement. And I thought that with the feedback people were giving out on Mario 3D World, I knew they were somehow gonna bring the Mario that everybody wanted. But, with Zelda, it really started feeling for me like the magic was getting lost, quite a bit. Skyward Sword for me was, a title that I thought it wasn't a bad game, but definitely a game when you can.
It wasn't really a game of the year contender, which is what Zelda should be, right? Like
it's my favorite Zelda game, so
it's not a bad. It's not a bad game.
Skyward Sword was controversial.
It's not a bad game at all. But I was feeling like, it's the same thing. I was feeling like this is the same thing. Going to dungeons, going, whatever. And when I saw that, and when they released A Link Between Worlds, that felt like such a different game. And I know that's a handheld Zelda game, but man, I love that game. And I don't know if you guys played A Link Between Worlds, but you actually kind of do have some freedom in there. You're in the same world.
They give you a lot more freedom. I think they learned a lot from Skyward Sword. They took the criticisms to heart. Now, the thing that disappoints me, though, is I felt that Skyward Sword had the best story for a Zelda game. Or at least the best told story for a Zelda game.
It did. But that freedom you get in A Link Between Worlds, You know,
It was a taste. It was just a taste.
It was just exactly. It was just a taste. So I was like, wow, you know, if we could have this in the next Zelda game, in the next big Zelda game, that would be awesome. And then I started, you know, that's when, you know, I started seeing Aonuma talking about how he's been playing Skyrim and that he would like to make a Zelda game that's kind of like that. And I was like, oh my God, please, if you do that, that would be awesome. And look at what we got. We got Breath of the Wild, you know, one of the biggest Zelda games. Actually, probably my favorite Zelda game now. So, yeah, I'm just kind of wondering, I mean, what's coming next, you know? And you know they're working on it. You know they're working on the next Zelda game already.
There's talk that we may see it next year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think it's possible. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying it's possible if they're following the Breath of the Wild formula. If they're using that same engine and just kind of building upon that. They're building upon what they did with Breath of the Wild rather than starting completely fresh with something completely different. I think it's possible we could start seeing Zelda next year, which, for the record, would be 2020. Breath of the Wild came out in the beginning of 2017, right? So if the next Zelda 3D Zelda comes out holiday 2020, that would be 3 years and like 8-9 months after Breath of the Wild released, which was delayed a couple times. It was just being polished the last few months, anyways, right? So just to put in that perspective, to build upon that, I think it's possible. Will it happen? I don't know. Right, I think expecting Zelda sooner than later is a slippery slope. We know how that happens. Look what happened with Breath of the Wild. Look what happened with Skyward Sword. Look what happened with Twilight Princess. They all took 4 to 5 years. So, you know, I'm not expecting it sooner. I'm just saying it wouldn't shock me.
No, especially as you said, there's already an engine. If they're gonna use that same engine, it shouldn't be as difficult as creating the engine from ground up, you know. So it is possible. Nintendo also did say that we're gonna be seeing more Zelda in different capacities, so possibly the fact that we're gonna get you know, Link's Awakening and that indie collaboration with Zelda characters is just an example, you know.
Right, we know Monolith Soft is working on something for Zelda as well. The hires that they've made recently suggested something separate, potentially from just the main, because we know they helped out with both Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. Monolith Soft, the developers behind Xenoblade, so it's possible they're just helping out with the next 3D Zelda. But based on some of the things we saw, it almost seems like they might be working on something else on top of that. So they may be working on the next RPG. They may be be developing a spin-off Zelda game and helping out with the next mainline Zelda game. So,
well, there's that image they leaked, you know, with a character in there that seems that they're developing another. You've seen it, right?
Which one are we talking about?
Like the image with
concept art that came out a few years ago.
Yeah, the concept art.
It shows
from
like
Monolith Soft.
There's two. There was one that has like a woman, like she looks like a warrior princess with like a dragon flying in the background. She has a sword, right? Which looks mysteriously like Zelda, actually, right? And then the other one is like this medieval looking structure. It almost looks kind of like Dark Souls. So if you look very carefully, there are the insignia for the Kingdom of Hyrule, like the eagle, is there in the art multiple times. And people didn't notice that at first, right? It only was realized recently when we saw all these Zelda game hires advertised for Monolith Soft. So they had concept art that had Zelda imagery in it from like a year or two ago.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Well, I didn't notice the Zelda emblems in there, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know what it would. I feel like it has to be a spin-off, right? Because I think an EAD Zelda team would make the next Zelda game, especially after the success of Breath of the Wild, right? And they always do that. There is a dedicated Zelda team, right? They make more than one Zelda, so I doubt they're not making the next Zelda. Be interesting to see, but you know, just going back to the point, like I think you know, the Wii U era was a dark time, but Nintendo still has that magic, right? They've made a lot of special games, but then they've made some really special games with Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, and I think I know. Well, I don't know. I feel it in my bones, at least, I can say, that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be another one of those. When it comes out. Whenever that is.
Probably they changed teams for a reason. I mean, Nintendo, is being picky about who develops that game, because if it doesn't meet the hype that the whole game has, I mean, they know that people are going to be disappointed. So the fact that they went ahead and canceled, what they had worked on so far and decided to give it to Retro Studios because they know the caliber that Retro Studio has, that really tells you a lot of how much quality Nintendo wants to put into this game,
Absolutely. And just to add to that, like, the only other time Nintendo posted a YouTube video announcing a delay for a game was Breath of the Wild. So they're holding Metroid Prime 4 in a similar esteem, right? So, they are holding it to that level. They want it to be that level. Hopefully it happens.
I will say this. I hope that... I know that I criticized a lot, but I really hope... I never said that I don't want the Metroid Prime trilogy to happen. To not happen. I want it to happen. I hope that it happens soon, because I'll be honest with you, I never played a Metroid Prime game. And I think it'll be a great opportunity, since I'm such a huge Nintendo Switch player, for me to buy it and play it.
I really hope it happens. That's one of my E3 predictions.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, let's hope it happens, because I would like to take advantage of it and play those games before Metroid Prime 4 actually comes out, so I can play that. So I can play the next big game in the Metroid Prime franchise.
Yeah, actually, Mandy, how do you feel about Metroid?
I'm pretty neutral. I haven't really experienced it other than Other M. So.
Yeah,
it's not a platformer, so she'll love it. No, I'm joking.
Well, Metroid Prime has some platforming in it, actually.
No, you're right.
But so does Zelda, right? You like Zelda.
Yeah,
so.
of course. I like platforms.
You don't like Banjo-Kazooie, and you don't think Mario Odyssey is the best game of all time. How could you?
Wait, hold on. Does Metroid Prime has platforming? Really?
Well, platforming in the sense that you jump around, like you have to measure depth. Like there are parts of Metroid Prime where you're like, oh, I have to get up there. How do I get up there? You can use a grapple, you can use a morph ball, you can do double jumps across like different aerial platforms or just marks on around the land. Like it's platforming. It's different ways of kind of exploring the environment.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a platformer, right? But it's platforming. I mean, like, so a game that I would even say that for example, Dark Souls is not a platformer, right? And I would say the platforming that is very minimal. But there are moments where you're like, oh, okay, I have to there's like a like a ledge, and you want to jump from one point to another. In that moment, you're platforming, right? That moment.
Have you played Doom?
A little bit, yeah.
So basically, kind of like that you can actually jump and do, because in Doom,
I wouldn't call Doom a platform. Granted, I didn't play the whole game yet. I'm supposed to. I have it. I have it available on my PC thanks to Brandon. I know there's platforming in it, right? So there are moments where Brandon's made a lot. I've seen Doom is very comparable. There's a lot of similarities between Doom and Metroid Prime. There's differences,
Gotcha.
A lot of differences too, right? It's not like it's more of an adventure game rather than a shooter, but they share similar elements.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Metroid Prime is more like first person like Alien Zelda. Like sci-fi's like it's kind of more like imagine a first person shooting Alien Zelda.
A first person shooting games.
That's basically Metroid Prime.
I could vibe with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I played the the old Metroid games, like the 2D. Those I played.
I don't like those.
Yeah, the Metroidvania ones, like I played those. Those are fine, but I never played the Prime. But from what you're describing, it sounds pretty interesting. Definitely something that I would like to get into.
Some of the greatest games of all time.
But I would wait until like a collection, because I see that coming right around the corner.
You think Prime Trilogy is right around the corner?
Yeah, and
I hope you're right.
They kind of have. No, they don't have to, but it would make sense. But Nintendo doesn't make sense. So
Nintendo doesn't make sense, but there have been many insiders saying it's real, it's happening. But
it has to be. I mean, that's two.
The thing is,
that's 3 games. Well, if they don't do a collection, but that's 3 games. and you know the 4 is coming out. You got to get people caught up because.
But does it have to happen this year? Because Metroid Prime 4 is probably a couple years away at this point because they have to restart development.
Yeah. Oh damn.
And I feel like they released it on the Wii U. If they released it on a Wii U, that it was a system that wasn't selling that much, you know, and they know. What? I'm sorry. Was that?
They released it on the Wii U.
Yeah. It is available on the Wii U for $20.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting a Wii U then. Actually, I already have.
But I mean, on the Switch, it's probably gonna be in HD with enhancements, right? So.
Right.
I'm waiting on that. I'll pay $60 for that.
Oh damn.
If it's gonna be, I mean, it's gonna be 3. You know, it's like I'm assuming it's gonna be an HD remaster for the trilogy. It might not be.
I'll pay for. No problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of content. It's 3 whole games, 3 big games. You know,
shoved into one.
Right. I would say a Metroid Prime game is about the length of the Wind Waker.
Oh my god.
I want to play that so bad now.
Yeah.
Where are the Zelda ports? Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
Right.
All they have to do is like, move them over.
True that. True that. There's also the matter of Skyward Sword, right?
They have to rebuy.
What if they create a little like a little pattern, which they won't do because you know it would be too nice of them. But what if they announce and release Metroid Prime Trilogy this year in HD remaster, and then next year they release a Zelda trilogy, right? They release.
I don't see
Waker.
them putting the Zelda games together.
No, you're right, but
because it's too. No, if you could solve like one alone, especially Zelda, they're gonna market that baby up.
Zelda's a much bigger name than Metroid, right? But in terms of like gameplay and content, it would be the same difference. Like each Metroid game is a whole long adventure like Zelda, right? But yeah, I mean, they won't because they can sell them each for $60, right? Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze released on the Wii U in 2014 for $50.
Yeah.
And they released it again with no enhancements 4 or 5 years later for $10 more. That happened.
You know, it's a mystery what happened. I mean, money speaks, but you gotta like say, come on, they're buying all my games. Let me give them a break a little.
But funky mode, bro. Funky mode.
Yeah, they did have
funky mode. That's totally worth.
Funky mode should have been free.
I'll be honest with you. I did pay the $60 to get it.
I have the game.
And
if you didn't have it on Wii U, you know, like it's a little perspective.
To me, it was just a new game. I never played it, you know, on the Wii U. So to me,
too.
You know, I just treated it like a new game. I just said, you know, I'm just gonna get it. I never played it. I'll just treat it like a new game. So it didn't bother me to play it.
Right, and I mean, when you take into consideration the Wii U, right, like
it still sucks to hear.
It sucks. Like most people don't have a Wii U, right? Like I guess you have an advantage. Like I guess one of the ways that you can make up for having a Wii U is, hey, look, you can get Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze for cheap, right? But the Switch is not like a system. It's a nice system that everyone wants, right? Unlike the Wii U, so they can afford to just sell games without really trying to bargain with people.
But it's not fair to just the ports of the Wii U like games should be at least $10 cheaper because I don't want to buy I love Skyward Sword. I'll pay $60 for that.
I think they would be if the Wii U was a better success. Like if the Wii U sold like 30 million, I think, and it was like a decent successful system. Yeah. If the Wii U was a somewhat successful system, it sold like 30 million units. Some people actually owned it. I think then the games we're seeing to come to Switch now, if they were already on Wii U, they would be like, hey, a lot of people already played this already, not that too many people are going to buy it. It should come at somewhat of a discount. But because so many people didn't have it, they can get away with it, right? They are getting away with it. You guys bought Tropical Freeze, despite the fact that it came out for $50 4 or 5 years beforehand and is available for $20 on the Wii U now. Well, they actually made it unavailable, but I got it for 20 years ago on the Wii
U. Most of them are not even remasters either, so you can't say it's like a polished up version or a remake.
Some of them are just straight up ports.
Yeah, straight up port. Like all they had to do was copy and paste.
Copy and paste. No, I agree. I think the prices. It doesn't make any sense why Tropical Freeze came out at a price point of $50, I think it was, and then on the Switch it comes out on for 60. It doesn't make sense, but you know, like I said, I didn't mind. I just got it, and that was it. You know.
Right, and I think it's a great game. I think if you didn't have it on Wii U, you're gonna have a great time.
And I'll tell you,
problem. We buy the games, even though we complain about it.
And you get it portably, which is a great addition, right?
Funky Kong.
And Funky Kong.
funky mode, bro. Funky
Yeah.
mode.
Now you can beat your games.
So
You get.
you guys haven't been on the show in a while, right? So I'm gonna ask you guys, what are some of your E3 predictions or wishes?
Oh, Animal Crossing. I know I have something in my head. Oh, Nier Automata, somewhere.
For Switch?
It's one of my
I want that
favorite
game.
games.
For Switch?
For
Yeah.
Switch, I don't care. A sequel, that'll be beautiful, but you know, I don't think this is gonna be there. But this
Okay.
is my wish list.
Okay.
Alright, so, something Zelda related. Skyward Sword, like anything.
We
Or,
got
like,
we got Link's Awakening coming out this year.
Yeah, we do, and it's cute. I like the art style is kind
But you want a 3D Zelda.
of that's like it's like clay Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool though. I'll buy it, of course, because it's Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see a Skyward Sword so bad. Like it's just like it's okay. It came out on the Wii, so it has room for a remaster, HD remaster. Boom, like the control schemes are different. Boom, that's pretty much it. That's all they need to do.
And on that note,
Oh, and
For
portable.
of course. Oh yeah, of course.
Fly your Loftwing like this if you want. I don't care.
The Zelda director, or previous director, Eiji Aonuma, he did say, "Hey, I know you guys are thinking about Skyward Sword at a Zelda concert a few months ago, right?" He
Yeah, I know.
made for Switch. He said, "Oh, Skyward Sword on Switch, right?" Like he said that. And nothing's come of it. Like we don't know what that means. I guess that means Skyward Sword next year, an HD
I kid you
remaster.
not. I made a video on that, and then the
Yeah.
next day it was like debunked. I was like, well, there goes my video.
I don't think it was debunked. I think it was just kind of more like a.
Oh, I think it was the same day I released it. It was debunked. It was bad.
I don't think it was debunked though. I think it was more of a.
Clarified that it ain't happening anytime soon.
Well,
Calm down, guys.
oftentimes, some companies will say something that doesn't mean it's not happening, right? Like there's PR.
I
PR,
know that it's gonna happen down the line.
right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying I trust the Zelda director, Eiji Aonuma, more than a random PR guy whose job is to just, shut down anything that hasn't been officially announced yet.
Well, that's like most people, but it gave me the hope that it was in the horizon.
Yeah, and that is disappointing that it's not. We were thinking, I would agree with you. We were thinking, hey, it'd be coming out like this year, right
I thought
now.
it was of Link's Awakening, like the placeholder.
I think, yeah, once Link's Awakening was announced, I was like, okay, we're not getting Skyward Sword HD this year. But to defend that, to offer a counter argument though, we got New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe in January, right?
Well, that's the
And what
where-
happened? And what's happening 6 months after that? And on June, we are getting Mario Maker 2, right?
Mario's different. They handle Mario way different. Because
it
Zelda
is-
games are usually like an annual thing, or not even annual, but they're more handled where it's not yearly.
It's almost annual if you count the spin-offs. And I think you're right in saying that. I think now Zelda's a bigger IP than it used to be. I think Breath of the Wild brought in a lot of new fans, so they might try to make it more of an annual thing. They have said they want to add more Zelda games, so Zelda might be more of a consistently annual thing now.
Or you already have it. Do
I mean,
it.
we're getting Cadence of Hyrule as well on top of Link's Awakening, right? So it's not like there's Zelda
That's not
stuff.
officially a Zelda game, though.
No, but it is using Zelda content. I'm just saying that I agree that Skyward Sword HD probably isn't coming out this year, right? I think it isn't, but I think it's still in the works. I think it could come out next year.
Well, it's my list, so I'm just going down the line of things that probably might not happen.
Right.
Mario Galaxy 3, we're just gonna
Oh
go.
my god, I would love that so much.
games.
It was Scream.
You know, my predictions are not really based in kind of any reality.
Your gut feelings.
But my gut feeling though is Animal Crossing. They had to do something.
You can book it. I bet $1 million Animal Crossing will be there.
Yeah, bet
$1 million.
I don't have that kind of money.
Neither do I. I'll go into more debt.
Oh heck no.
No one's gonna bet against that. Everyone thinks it's gonna We're gonna. Do you think they'll open up with Animal Crossing?
What if they don't say like a thing about Animal Crossing? And everyone's just like,
that's not gonna happen. I refuse.
I'm about to wax some stuff with anger.
I don't see how that happens because they reaffirmed recently that Animal Crossing is coming this year, and like they haven't talked it. It's literally the only game that's announced that has no gameplay. It's the only game Nintendo's announced that has no gameplay.
It pretty much doesn't really like Animal Crossing gameplay is not even that. They could do like a trailer or something.
They could re-edit the Amiibo Festival trailer and say it's...
Oh my gosh. That should be built in the new Animal Crossing game as like a side hustle or something.
People might be mad about even that. People don't have to think about that. Don't even mention that name around here. That's how some people feel.
But yeah.
Yo, if we got Mario Galaxy 3, Skyward Sword HD, and we will get Animal Crossing, that'd be a really good E3.
What about Paper Mario?
I'd like that.
Is it dead? Does anyone think? I don't think it's dead.
I'm not feeling it. We got
like our Color Splash port. Where's our Color Splash port?
I hope they just make a new Paper Mario.
I'm going down the list of games they haven't ported yet.
Yeah. It's an option though. Paper Mario's gonna happen sooner or later. But I mean, we're getting Luigi's Mansion 3 this year. We got Mario Bros in the beginning of the year. We're getting Mario Maker 2. I think those two.
We're good on Mario.
Yeah, I think we're good. I mean, I consider Luigi's Mansion to be different, but I mean, it's Luigi, right? Like.
On that point, I think there should be like an expansion or DLC for Mario Odyssey. Because there should be more kingdoms there. I'm like.
I totally agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
Kingdom, they didn't even like go to, let's say, I don't know, but they could have done like way more. There's possible DLC thing to be done there.
Yeah.
They could go to Mario. I don't care.
You know, I honestly thought Mario Odyssey DLC would have been announced already. The last year, during their investors meetings, I think it was the third quarter from last year, Shinichiro Furukawa, president of Nintendo, he said, we are going to focus on new DLC for our best-selling games. At the time, this was before Smash Brothers, so literally the two best-selling games on Nintendo Switch at the time were Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Super Mario Odyssey. And they were the only two games on the list of their top 10 games that didn't have any paid DLC.
Well,
what?
Mario Kart is like a huge DLC, but...
Yeah, but they did add DLC to Pokken Tournament for perspective, right?
On their meetings, like...
Mm-hmm.
Just say which games, man. I know they can't, but...
I know.
They sprinkle in some hope and then dash it away.
That made me happy, though, if we get Mario Maker 2, Luigi's Mansion 3, and Odyssey DLC this year.
What about Bayonetta?
Do you think that's going to happen?
I don't think so.
I think Astral Chain... I think best case scenario...
Astral Chain is what killed Bayonetta 3 for this year.
Yeah. They might mention it. They might even give us a little teaser. But the focus is going to be Astral Chain. And I think it deserves a focus.
Because it's a new IP and they prioritized that over an existing one. Well, not really an IP, but...
I would say it's kind of more like... So the younger team... They have a younger, newer team working on Astral Chain, right? And so that game... I hope it's going to be good. It looks like it's going to be good. But... You know, it's kind of like the veteran teams working on Bayonetta 3. That's like their really big Nintendo project, right? And so it's just not coming out this year because it's not ready, right? But this Astral Chain game with this younger team is pretty much ready, and it's coming out this year.
That's cool.
And the most interesting thing about Astral Chain is that you got the developers who developed Nier Automata in there. So
I know, but it doesn't play
promising,
like
right?
it, and it's not Nier.
No. I would like to see a Nier port as well. Maybe it'll happen next year.
I mean,
maybe it'll be announced at E3, like you said. Maybe we'll get some sort of Nier Automata announcement. That'd be really cool.
graphical, like heavy game. It's more. It has to be 60 frames per second though.
Right.
It's not. It's
planning is pretty. I think if you look at Astral Chain, I think it looks gorgeous, right? But that game was developed ground up for the Nintendo Switch, right? It was developed with the Switch in mind. So there's a difference when you look at what
art style is kind of more in the.
Yeah, it's a lot more pseudo like surrealist rather than realistic. But like you can when you port a game over to the Switch, you can only accomplish so much, right? But when you build a game ground up for the Switch, because you're focusing on what the Switch is good at, right, and that's your priority and nothing else, you can really push the graphical limits for that game, you know? That's how some of the best looking games are. The games that are exclusive to particular systems, those are usually the better looking games on that system.
Alright, well, we gotta wrap it up. It's like almost 11:30.
We're good, yeah. Good to go. Ray, do you want to share some of your own predictions or wishes for E3 before we call it a night?
Sure. Well, my predictions are very simple. Of course, we're gonna see Luigi's Mansion. We're gonna see Animal Crossing. I think we're not gonna see a whole lot of it, but we're gonna see some gameplay. We may get more in-depth footage and gameplay and all that in a separate direct, focus on Animal Crossing.
Okay.
We're definitely gonna watch. We're definitely gonna see Astral Chain. Especially because it's coming in August, so they really have to, you know what I'm saying, like talk about it.
I agree.
I think there's gonna be more, but I really think that we may get to see Retro Studios game.
Oh, I hope
this
so.
year.
I think that's. I agree with you, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
We still don't have clarity about the robotic hand, like on the picture of Reggie. I just know that I found the artist and I asked him, "You drew this?" He was like, "Yep." I was like, "Can you tell me what that is?" And he was like, "Nope." That's all I know.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's confidential.
Actually he's from Puerto Rico too, so
that's cool.
I was like, "Bro, like, can you tell me?" What's that?
What'd you say, Mandy?
I said you gotta support the fam.
I know, right?
For sure.
I was like, "Hey, can you tell me a little bit of this?" He was like, "Nope." So I think we may see something, man. I'm pretty positive about it.
I really hope so. I think that was an intentional tease. I find it hard to believe that it wasn't an intentional tease, right? That Mario statue is so well placed, right? And like you said, that was an official artist that put a little winky face with the picture. Like, I feel like it is, and considering that Retro Studios is already making Metroid Prime 4, they made a game. It's waiting. We just got to see what it is. I hope this year we see it. I don't know if it'll come out this year because this year's stacked with games, right? But I at least hope we see it. But you guys know my predictions, and if you don't, I have a predictions video on my channel. Check it out. I've talked about predictions on this podcast many times, but I'm in a lot of agreement with both Mandy and Ray are talking about. I think it'd be really cool. Mandy, I know you want to go soon, so let's just run through the chat real quick, and we'll call it a night. Yeah, I know it's late.
Warriors games.
Shifty believes the dream for Switch with Nier Automata. I hope so, man. I really hope it happens. Yeah, spending $60 on a port I think is expensive, but if people are buying it, Mastermind, right? Computer Robot's asking, will Andres Restart make an appearance at E3? Time will tell. Oh, money will tell. I hope someday I will. Someday. As official press. That'd be great. It'd be cool if we had like a whole team, of us like Nintendo tubers just going as a group. That'd be fun.
For free, yeah.
For free, as press.
Or like even because we're in a team, it'd probably be cheaper.
True. Especially if we share a hotel.
I've seen some people like literally sleep anywhere.
No, like I used to go to Pokemon tournaments, and what we would do is like there'd be like 10 to 20 of us, and we would share a couple hotel rooms, and it was a lot cheaper.
Yeah, but like people on the floor.
Yeah, you bring sleeping bags, some stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Pride of information. I'm completely okay with sacrificing portability for $40 cheaper. Good point. 60 versus 20 versus no portability. That's a good point. Mario Rabbids 2, that's an interesting prediction, Computer Robots. That might happen, actually. I think Mario Rabbids 2 could happen, but we did just get like a Donkey Kong DLC for Mario Rabbids, so we might have to wait a little bit longer. We'll see, though. Prior information, I just want more 3D platformers. That's my wish list. So, my personal wish and desire and speculation at the same time is that Retro Studios game is a 3D platformer. Right? Like
Metroid.
I don't think it's Metroid. I would love that, but I don't think it's. I think it might be like, I don't know. It might be something new, right? Or 3D Donkey Kong
style.
What?
It's Metrovania style. It's kind of better than platformers. If you have like a Metrovania.
You do hate platformers.
Oh my god, no, I don't. It's just I prefer a lot of other genres.
Okay. Right. But you like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, right?
I do.
That's a retro game. What if they made a 3D Donkey Kong game? How'd you feel about that?
Oh my god.
That'd be amazing.
I don't know, man. Donkey Kong. If it's handled well, sure. But if it's like Donkey Kong 64.
No. It'd be better than that. Right. It'd be more like Mario Odyssey, but with Donkey Kong.
Okay.
What if they had an inspiration for the next 3D Donkey Kong, and the inspiration for the next 3D Donkey Kong was Tarzan?
Tarzan?
Do you remember the Tarzan Disney movie? How he would surf on branches and trees and fly around in this giant, like, thick jungle? What if, like, they made Donkey Kong control like Tarzan?
Bro, like, you're hyping me. You're making me hype for something that doesn't even exist.
I'm sorry.
You need to stop.
It's beautiful, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sabbath, that would be great.
Yeah, it would be cool. Whatever they do, I believe it'll be amazing. Whatever it is. Sabbath 64, I just want a rare replay on Switch. Me too. I'm hopeful that will be announced at E3. N64 edition, I would love that. I don't think it's happening, but I would love it. I used to think it was happening. I don't anymore, but who knows? Maybe it will happen. They did have the patent for an N64 controller, so it was done for a reason. It might just be for N64 games on the Switch. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that, though? Do you think we could ever see an N64 Classic, or do you think... What do you guys think?
I'm tired of the classics, honestly. Just put them on the Switch. Get done with it.
That's probably what's
but you know,
happen.
if it happens, whatever.
Right.
I don't know. I think they'll probably just sell them separate, like they did with Turok.
Yeah, and I actually really enjoyed that because it was like a remaster. It was really good. It looked better. It had different control options. It played really well. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that Turok. I mean, it was based off the PC version, but it had some Switch modifications, and it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Computer Robots. Anyone want Mushroom Kingdom Warriors? That'd be lit. Imagine just armies of Toads and Goombas slashing through all of them. Mastermind saying Just Dance Mario Mix. Oh no. Oh no. All the Warriors games, Computer Robots. Alright. So I think we've pretty much reached the natural conclusion for this podcast, guys. We're all excited for E3. Hopefully get some more really interesting information for next week. Ray, I guess if people want to check out your channel, they can. Which should we talk about? Both. You got the Nerdy Cabana, right? And then we got the Podcast Dojo, which is the one you had in the chat earlier.
Yeah. I don't put. I mean, unfortunately, adult life has really consumed me, so I don't post as much in Nerdy Cabana, but I do post more in the Podcast Dojo. So all you have to do is just type in the Podcast Dojo, just one word.
The name that you see on this logo right here, that's it. Type in that.
Yeah, type in that, and the first channel that will pop up, that's it. There used to be another Podcast Dojo, but they changed their name to the Dojo Podcast. So.
Okay. And we got Mandy Plays, of course. Lovely Mandy. She has a great Nintendo channel as well. A link to her channel is in the description below. Is there anything you're going to be doing later on, or do you want to share with people, Mandy?
I'm going to be streaming So check that out. I don't know what yet, but I'm thinking.
It's gonna be a surprise. Oh, you might stream Resident Evil at some point, and I have to be there. So,
oh yeah, that is. But I don't think I'm gonna stream that soon.
It's all right. Whenever it happens.
So,
all right. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you all really soon. Leaving a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're bored, check out my Amazon storefront, and we'll see you soon. By the way, I'm planning on launching Yeah, I'm launching. I hope to publish like a whole bunch of like Nintendo E3 videos this week, so stay tuned. But yeah, good night, guys. Take care.
Night.